no, now we cannot build and kind of know where the problem is, and it's easily to fix. Thank God. So your thought on the match before I even begin on the match. So how's been your day from the like how's been your day for the whole day since Wednesday till like Sunday? How's been everything? Hope everything is going on well. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me? Sorry, I
I
was in a
said yeah, I
noisy
can
place.
hear
I
you.
just had to.
I said
Yeah.
how has been your day though? So I hope your day has been fine from Wednesday to Sunday to everything. Firstly, were you nervous before the match, or what were your feelings before the match?
Wow. Um. How was I feeling before the match? I was anxious. A combination of anxiety and nervousness. I was so uncomfortable. In fact, it felt like I started feeling sick at some point. No joke. I literally had to find the reason, to leave my
Mm-hmm.
house, just to drive around, go around, to cool off a little bit. It was that bad. It was that bad because the thought of, and this is the first time I've actually felt that bad. In the race for the top four.
Wow.
So I went around. Got to a couple of things to keep me occupied up
Mm-hmm.
until it was time for kickoff. Basically, I focused on the game, and even like 20 minutes into the game, give or take, I was still nervous. Before we scored, I was still nervous because I felt okay, anything can happen, anything can go wrong before you know a goal goes in and all that. But then thankfully, after Missy Mount's goal, I felt a little bit better. And then in the second half, I was, very, very comfortable and confident about it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, fortunately, I mean, we made it into the top four Champions League places. But
Mm-hmm.
it pains me knowing that Manchester United are actually the ones that eventually sealed third place. I would rather it was
Leicester,
Leicester City. Yes,
exactly.
I would rather it was Leicester City that sealed third place than for it to be Manchester United.
Mm-hmm.
That one cut really deep. But then here we are. It's better than nothing. We blew it ourselves. And
Yeah, exactly.
I can say for certain that I mean I'm convinced that if we didn't have Kepa in goal in that game against Liverpool, we wouldn't have, suffered the results we suffered.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So because for me, I think Caballero look more assured than Kepa. For me, look more assured than Kepa.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
More assured than
Absolutely.
Balaga. Because I wouldn't lie to you. I don't even know. I don't know what to call it. It's been very poor. I'm even hearing the news that it may be sold come before the new season begin.
Who?
Marisa Balaga.
Of course, that's the expectation. I'll be surprised if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's the expectation. From what I understand, he's expected to. I mean, are we talking about Kepa now, or are we now going
No,
straight
let's
to
talk about the match
the
first.
game?
Let's talk about
We're
the
not done
match.
about
Then,
the
yeah, let's
exactly
just talk about the match.
selections, formation, everything.
Mhm.
Just
Everything.
the season as a whole. You
Yep.
know, yeah, we can talk about the season as a whole.
As a
From
whole, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So,
So it's up to you to
firstly,
direct. I'm listening.
like when the season started, do you ever believe we're gonna make top or just gonna my prediction is like top six and top seven? That's it.
Absolutely not. In fact, I couldn't have put my spare change right on Chelsea making top four. Like I did not see that happening at all. And I genuinely felt okay, even if we make anywhere near. I didn't even expect us to make top six. In all honesty, looking at how teams performed last season and transfers and all that, and
Mm-hmm.
knowing that we have some underdogs in the likes of Wolves coming in
Mm-hmm.
after the previous season. I felt yes, it won't be the traditional top four. It's not just the traditional top four competing. No, there are other guys,
Mm-hmm.
playing the game this time around. So I didn't expect Chelsea to be in the top
Mm-hmm.
six at all, especially with Lampard. I felt the odds were grossly against us. The transfer ban, Hazard leaving, um, you know, Lampard, a new manager, Lampard coming in, not just a new manager. If he was an established manager already, it would have been a whole lot more hopeful. But in this case, it was
Mm-hmm.
literally a case of a manager, a rookie on the job, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't tested and tried yet in the Premier League as a manager. So I felt okay, maybe yeah. They just signed him because he's a Chelsea legend and all that. But I didn't expect him to do anywhere close to what he has achieved.
Mm-hmm.
Given, as I always say, yes, it's given that there have been games here and there where we could have made mistakes. It's not just that we don't have the squad to perform and get results. Remember, at the start of the season,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't know how good Messi Mouse was going to play, or how how much of
Mm-hmm.
a good run Tammy Abraham was going to have in the first couple of months, or Reece James. We weren't sure that
Yeah.
these guys were going to turn up. So the judgment was basically based on the older players we had at the time, and to most of us,
Mm-hmm.
we are not convinced by the older players we had. The more established stars. So it was looking bleak, but thankfully, a combination of the academy players and other teams also underperforming, because I think that's the most important thing. Other teams underperformed, including Manchester City by their standards, Tottenham, Arsenal, of course, Manchester United by their standard, Leicester City as well. These teams grossly underperformed, and
Mm-hmm.
they gave Chelsea an opportunity to make it into the Champions League places. So
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, that
Mm.
was my expectation at the start
Yeah,
of
but
this.
for me, I think my expectation was just top six only, just because of Lampard coming in and then the top four and everything was just a top six. Then we could just go on and getting the Europa League. But as the season kind of pans out from month to month, we started on winning, conceding, scoring. I was like, wow, are we still gonna make this top four? Then I was like, okay, let me just keep my expectation a little bit down. Then let's see how let's see how we finish. Then we make it more easier for us to decide. But fortunately for us, though, we finished top four, which is the key. The real key in his first consecutive full season as a manager is a key. Finishing in the top four is a key for us, so it can easily help us a lot in terms of attracting new players, and also kind of making our stay in the UEFA Champions League. It's good though. So it makes us kind of do very well as a club. So which is working for me. I'm kind of happy because now we can easily just keep our minds down and focus more on what is coming up next. What's coming up next for us, which makes it easier. Which we could make it at the top four, which is very okay. And I'm happy about it also too.
Yeah. I agree with you. But the good thing about it is that the players who signed, and those
Mm-hmm.
that seem like the primary, most important targets,
Mm-hmm.
they were not signed based on the Champions League terms. Even if we hadn't qualified, they would have still joined, for what we understand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, two
Mm-hmm.
had already joined, but Kai Havertz
Yeah.
would have still joined even if we didn't qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So I think that's out of the line. I think there's a big draw. This is just an added bonus, and the only thing now is, will Chelsea do? The transfer window will be a very short one. Will Chelsea have enough time or do the right job, especially in defense? I mean, that's a
Yeah,
different
it's
conversation. That's
10
a
weeks. 10 weeks. 10 weeks transfer window. It's 10 weeks.
Yeah, so that's a different conversation we might have in a different, when the transfer window properly opens, right? But
You
for
open tomorrow,
now,
you open.
credit.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, credit to to the team, every single one of them. Unfortunately, there were
Mm-hmm.
some players that were expected to turn up this season, to make a statement for themselves, and they've not laid down the mark. At the likes of even Tammy Abraham, he has not. In my opinion, he didn't exactly grasp the opportunity. The likes of Hudson Odoi did not also grasp the opportunity. Whatever the reason may be, people may still cite the injury, but I mean, that injury, that's part of the sport, that's part of the game. If you don't recover,
Mm-hmm.
someone else will take your place. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the earnings are consistent, whether he's injured or not. It's not turning him down. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how life is. That's the business. Um, there was also Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Unfortunately, it just seemed like he didn't recover in time, despite the pandemic, the suspension of the league. But then
Mm-hmm.
again, we just hope some of them would, do better next season. It remains to be seen how many will still be there at the
Mm-hmm.
start of on the 12th of August. It just remains to be
Exactly.
seen. Let's see how that goes.
No,
Yes.
Exactly. But, at 12th of September is when the EPL starts. 12th of
Sorry,
September.
12th of September, I beg your pardon.
Mm-hmm. September. So even Willian didn't play today, which raised bar for me a lot.
Sorry?
Willian didn't play today, which raised a lot of bar for me. Like maybe
Oh, yes.
maybe this is his final
Yes.
match. His final match in Chelsea. In
Yes.
Chelsea.
We've not talked about the lineup. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
okay, just, I don't know, lead it. We should talk
Mm-hmm.
about the lineup.
Like, let's talk about the lineup and also yeah.
Okay. So what's the question?
My question was like, Willian didn't play today. So do you see it being his last match for Chelsea or just like maybe Lampard was just resting because I know it's not
I
injured.
think
It's not injured.
I think Willian has played his last match for Chelsea, because there's no other game, as a matter of fact, from what we understand. It
Mm-hmm.
seems like his contract expires at the end of this month. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
so sure, or the end of the season. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
yet.
And the season already
Um,
finished.
no, no, no. I mean, it depends on if it's open, because the contract. I don't know what the contract says. Whether it's end of the month, whether it was extended by 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
or end of the season. Because if it's end of the season, there's still the
I,
Champions League, and
mm-hmm.
there's still the FA Cup final to play. But the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he did not play Willian in today's game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Willian is not injured so far, based on what we understand. He's not injured, and he did not play him in such an important game. I feel like that's a statement to say, okay, if you're not going to sign and accept the 2 year contract that's been offered to you, you may as well be gone. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
even though, in my opinion, Willian has not been putting in his best, giving his best for the side.
Mm-hmm.
Even though people might say he has been immense, but to me, he hasn't been doing enough. Perhaps, and for Lampard, a manager that felt that Willian has been one of the key players of the side, for him to have dropped Willian in
Mm-hmm.
such a key game, do you understand? It
Yeah.
goes to show that it's beyond performance. Except if Willian sustained a sudden injury that we're not aware of yet at this
No,
point.
I don't think
Other
so
than
because
that,
yeah. Hmm.
I think he has played his last game for Chelsea, and I don't think Chelsea will miss him at this point. I don't exactly think Chelsea will miss him at this point. And playing Mason Mount actually on the wing was a masterstroke. I mean, he delivered. Did better than in the game against Liverpool while
Yeah.
playing from the left. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
thank
Yeah.
you very much to William, and
Mm-hmm.
we wish him all the very best. He wasn't even on the bench,
Mm-hmm.
so there has to be
Exactly.
more to it.
Mm-hmm. So let me just ask you now. So for the upcoming season that is coming up now. So like I already said already, we need to know our priority as a club because we need to know where we're heading to being a Chelsea. Chelsea is not just an ordinary not championship cup. This is a winning team. Now we've secured the Champions League now. Now everything is cool and calm at the moment now. So what, where exactly do we need to really strengthen the defense, the goalkeeper? Because this has been for me, it's a good season, but the goalkeeper situation has to be solved. It has to be. It has to be. No, it has to. Because if the goalkeeper situation is not solved, there's gonna be a huge problem for us. So we have to make sure everything is solved and it's kind of guaranteed for us to can say yes, we can compete with the likes of Liverpool, Man City. I'm not saying we're gonna win the league, you get what I'm saying? But at least we can compete and show how good a team we have. So where exactly do we need to strengthen most? The goalkeeper area or the defensive area? Or the let me say the midfield area because we have too many midfield. So but for me I believe we need to strengthen more of the goalkeeping area than the defending area. Once the goalkeeping is sorted out, then I think the defensive will follow.
Well, I said the last time
Mm-hmm.
that's as things are, the goalkeeping position is actually priority, because you know goals will happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Goals will certainly happen, but the type of
Mm-hmm.
goals that happen is what's important. If you look at the game against Wolves, there was that chance that Caballero saved. It was from a curling ball from the wing,
Yeah,
from the
Kepa
end
will have.
line, yeah, almost the
Mm-hmm.
corner area, and he managed to save it, to keep it out. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, I would say if we had Kepa in goal, the chances of him keeping it out would have been very low.
Mm-hmm.
He's not as tall as Willie Caballero,
Mm-hmm.
right? So of course his reach would have been, uh, you know, um, more limited,
Mm-hmm.
right? His reach would have been more limited. Secondly, his desire to jump, to make a dive at saving the shot, would have even reduced the chances of him saving that shot, or that cross rather.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely that definitely was not a problem of the defense at that point. It was a save that was done by the goalkeeper, and there is something to a very significant length
Mm-hmm.
that the first goal, a very significant distance the first goal, impacts on the game. The first team to score a goal to a significant degree goes a lengthy way to determine who eventually wins the game. You
Mm-hmm.
get me?
Yeah.
So the goalkeeping position, in my opinion, comes first before even before the left back, before any other position that is left on that pitch. I do think, sorry.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, but I think overall though, I would say it's a good season. I wouldn't say that it has been a brilliant season, but it's a better season because we made it to the Champions League, which is real better. Now it's easier now to just calm our nerves down and focus more on what we needed to focus more because at the moment the scare of all team were like, can we make it to the top four? Can we do this to the top four? Can we do that to the top four? Now we've made it to the top four now. What we now do is now was like keep our nerves down and make sure that we kind of made it to make sure that everything goes well for us. We already made it to the top four, which is a plus for me, a huge plus, which makes me kind of happy that now our Chelsea fans that can nap and everything calm down and we can just move. So my next question to you is: at the moment, what is Chelsea best player of the season at the moment? Messi,
Hmm.
Mount, Pulisic, Matthew Kovacic, or what is Chelsea player of the season in your view?
Interesting. You even reminded me of a player that was not just at the top of my list. I think I would go for. It's a difficult one, honestly, because these three players you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, deserve that title as a
Mm-hmm.
player of the season. Um, but for certain reasons, I'll go by elimination. Eliminating them one by one, and the last man standing will be my
Mm-hmm.
choice. For certain reasons, I'll drop. I mean, Messi Mount, even though yeah he had a good run, but
Mm-hmm.
certain and being an offensive player and an attacker, maybe his goals and assist numbers are not good enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, the reason we ended up in fourth place instead of third place is because of 15 goal deficit
Mm-hmm.
behind Manchester United. So, obviously, yeah, he played an integral role in that particular one. So, yeah, um, I'll drop him off. And between Christian Pulisic
Mm-hmm.
and Mateo Kovacic, right? Pulisic, yeah, had lengthy time of the team, due to injury and all that. Maybe injuries that were not necessarily down to his own doing, but then it is football. And Kovacic had more appearances, and in my opinion, turned up for like 99% or 98% of the games he played it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see his contribution, and for that reason, I'd like to give it to Mateo Kovacic.
Hmm. Wow. For me also too, I'll give it to Kovacic too. He's been our best player. Even when Kante was off, Kante was injured and everything, he's been showing how good of a player he is. That's why also sometimes too, he's been injured too. But at least he's been showing a lot, like showing how good of a player he is. For me, I'll give it to Matthew Kovacic. No doubt about it. No doubt. No doubt about it. I'll give it to Kovacic. I will. Because he's been showing how good of a player he is. So no doubt in giving it to Kovacic. There's no one can even guarantee anything. No, it's not gonna be Kovacic. See, it's already for me. It's Matthew Kovacic already. For me, it's Matthew Kovacic.
Yes. The funny thing, I just have to admit and say, I remember when at the end of last season, around this time, we're talking about Chelsea putting in a £40 million bid for
Mm-hmm.
him to sign him from Real Madrid, and I was one of those that said no after his first season with Chelsea. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we are really not around about number of goals or assists from him and all that, and I felt no. £40 million is too much for a player that he's not scoring goals, he's not assisting and all that. But until after we had signed him at the beginning of this season and I saw what he could do, and in my opinion, in all honesty, I feel like he is very good. Just like an Eden Hazard on the ball, his dribbles and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
I changed my mind immediately. He has now gone on. He's one of our most consistent players, if you ask me as well. Um, has gone on to, you know, um, prove me wrong. and he deserves it. Very, very deserving of it. He puts in his hand. He's very committed every single time
Yep.
he turns up. Absolutely committed.
Even I was speaking to Real Madrid fans, they was telling me that Kovacic is one of the player Chelsea will ever they will love having in their team because he's just the dynamic player Chelsea wants. Because in Real Madrid, he didn't get the chance at Real Madrid because of the kind of midfield that Real Madrid have then. It was can't come from the bench, but was Kovacic was like he wanted to play and show how good of a player he is in Madrid, but they didn't give him the chance. So coming to Chelsea was a huge step up for him that so he can show good of how good of a player he is and he can show his ability as a player, which is also helpful for Chelsea too. It's kind of help also for Chelsea too, which has been the real key also too. Has been the real key too. So so for you it's Mateo Kovacic, right? So also too, I'll go for Mateo Kovacic too because he's been like for me, he's been the best player of the season. No doubt about it. He's been the best player of the season. He has been. So for me, so for you, who has been the worst?
Hmm.
Who has been the worst? Let me. I won't say
The
worst. Who has
worst.
been the average player for you that has not lived up to the expectation you wanted him to live up to?
The worst, of course, has been Kepa Arrizabalaga. There's no competition there.
Wow.
Simply because, yes, Kepa Arrizabalaga. I mean, simply because he had so many opportunities to do good, and he just did not do good. The fact that Chelsea has considered a record number of goals in the past more than
Hmm.
10 years is a testament to how ineffective he is, or how barely effective he is. Chelsea is not it. No matter how bad the defense is not as bad. You know, the defense is not a defense that should be conceding as much goals. There are so
Hmm.
many top teams in the Premier League that will take our centre backs, especially
Hmm.
our two major centre backs in
Hmm.
Rudiger and Zuma. They would have taken those two centre backs before the end of this or before the start of this season. But because of Kepa somewhere at the back, and he has never proven or seemed like a goalkeeper that has something to offer the team, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Apart from what he could do on that side with his passes, long passes, pinpoint passes. Other than
Yep.
that, I've not seen anything he has. I'm not. He hasn't strengthened the team in any way. He has actually weakened it, and I feel more comfortable with Willy Caballero in goal ahead of him.
You mentioned Willie Caballero now. So here comes my next question for you upside. So if Ariza Balaga goes, or maybe eventually we loan him out to loan him out, who do you want exactly? Because there's a news that I just heard before the Chelsea match finished that Chelsea are already talking to Andy Onana of Ajax. So because Ajax are demanding 30 million, but Chelsea wants to pay like 20 with option of with some bonus and everything to make it up to like 25 to 30. So would you want Onana or will you go for Dean Henderson? I think I've been having this question 11. So now that we already set up for now. We need to know the signing we need to make up for the new season coming up. So will you go for Andy Onana or you go for Dean Henderson? Because we need to be very sure. We need to have a composed goalkeeper which can guarantee us let me say points and guarantee us win. So who will you go for? Dean Henderson or Andy Onana?
Well, my opinion has always been the same with regards to this too. I feel more comfortable with Onana. The thing with England or English players
Mm-hmm.
players is simply that sometimes they tend to be overhyped. You know, Dean Henderson has been hyped very, very, very much hyped. I wouldn't say overhyped, whether he's deserving or not, but he has been hyped by the English media, right? And that's not taking anything away from a team like Sheffield United that has a very solid defense. So it's possible that to a significant extent, the defense, they play in a very traditional English way, you know,
Yep.
talking about Sheffield United. So to an extent, that may account for why he has had a good season. I'm not saying he's not good. I acknowledge and recognize the fact that he's actually good and one of the better goalkeepers in the league. But then I've watched Onana, a couple of times and top playing at the highest level,
Mm-hmm.
facing tough and scary opposition, and he doesn't seem to be, scared. Doesn't seem to be moved, and he commands his 18-yard area, commands his box, commands the line as well. He seemed very confident and vocal, which is very important. And his transfer fee, most
Mm-hmm.
importantly, is quite very, very, very much on the low side. Yeah, for a talent like that in today's market, it's very much on the low side, and I feel that would be a better choice than Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson, being an English player, would
Mm-hmm.
be on the spotlight, right? So many eyes and pressure on him and all that. He performed for England. They're watching him. If he may commit a blunder, it comes in the news and headline news. He's done this, here and there. So for that reason, I would rather want to have Onana because I believe Onana is very, very much capable and has better experience as well than Dean Henderson.
Because I listened to what Onana said something. He said because he's black, people doesn't rate him that much because he's a black guy. People that he wants to go to a club where he can prove himself that yeah, I'm black, but at least I can show myself of being a top goalkeeper. So do you really see that as a count law, or do you just see like so? What's your take on that? He said because people doesn't rate him because he's black, people doesn't rate him that
Well,
much.
there's no denying the fact that there's racism in football, from management to playing personnel to backroom staff. Um, but then again, I wouldn't say exactly. I cannot. I can neither. I wouldn't say that racism has played a part. It's possible, but then again, the same. I remember when people were asking why a player like Ziyech,
Mm-hmm.
um, um, so many players that played for Ajax, 2 years ago when they did very well and got to the semi-final of the Champions League. Questions were asked as to why the whole squad, you know, many players weren't signed from the side. There were also brilliant players, including Tagliafico, brilliant players in the Ajax side that surprisingly were not signed to bigger clubs. Yes, Ziyech is not Caucasian, yes, but he was one
Mm-hmm.
of the big players that wasn't signed. So
Yeah.
was Tagliafico. So was so many of their players. I can't really remember now. Even this guy that they played. Yeah, he had played for Manchester United, but if this were to be some other team or in some other
Mm-hmm.
circumstances, 9 times out of 10, most of their players would have been signed to other clubs. You remember, but just two players were signed. So it's not just down to. I wouldn't just want to take it, label it, um, or take it, relegate it down to racism.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he knows his personal experiences, or he has more information than I do. But from my own perspective, I wouldn't point it down to, or relegate it down to racism. Maybe it would be a little too prejudgmental.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. But for me, I think I'm gonna go with what you said also. Onana is good, but my worry with Onana is I'm looking at his height with Arrizabalaga too. Arrizabalaga doesn't have that height, but does he really have that composure of being a good goalkeeper? That's my worry. Does he have that good composure? Because being a goalkeeper, you gotta have a composure. You gotta command your areas and make people believe you that yes, we are believing in this man. We believe in this person is our goalkeeper. He can lead us front. But look at if you look at top team now, Real Madrid they have Thibaut Courtois. They can assure themselves that even if Sergio Ramos make a blunder or Varane make a blunder, there's someone that can cover them up in Thibaut Courtois. You get what I'm saying? So it's an helpful for a team who have a very good goalkeeper and say yes, we have a good goalkeeper who can help us a lot, who can kind of save us when it's difficult for us. So for me, I think I'm gonna go with what you said. Onana for me is good, very good goalkeeper. I've watched Ayers a lot and I see how good of a player he is. And also for Cameroon too. Cameroon also said it also that he may be young, but he possesses that ability of a good goalkeeper in himself. That he deserves to be on the top, which is very good and helpful also for me. I will go with your point also too. Andy Onana for me also. Andy Onana for me.
Yeah,
Onana for me. Onana.
yeah.
But now my question to you is if Onana comes in, what do we do with Kepa? Do you sell him? Do you loan him? Or what do you do with him? Because no team will pay 70 million for him. No. No team will do that. No. No team will pay that kind of money. No. No team.
Of course, no team will pay that kind of money. I mean, first of all, even before the pandemic, no team will pay that money for Kepa, knowing that Chelsea is desperate to let go of him. So the odds are
Mm-hmm.
against Chelsea. Secondly, with the pandemic and the cash traps, teams are not getting the gate fees from
Mm-hmm.
fans coming to the stand. So many teams are actually cash strapped. Chelsea seems to
Mm-hmm.
be at the at the advantage now than most teams. So even buying players would even be at a disadvantage to us because these other clubs know that Chelsea has money to spend
Yeah.
because of the transfer window ban that we had.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that Chelsea hierarchy are already, the boardroom, they've already made up their mind and said, yeah, we're going to cut a loss from the deal for Kepa Arrizabalaga. You get. They know that there is no way Chelsea will make the 7.71.600 million pounds. It's not
Mm-hmm.
possible to recoup it. So they are ready for a loss. The question now is where can they get the highest amount of money? That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
Thankfully, on Sunday morning, I read an article that said that on Daily Mail that
Mm-hmm.
actually said that Kepa is willing to take a pay cut for him to
Mm-hmm.
leave Chelsea, to make his way out of Chelsea. So good thing. It's not like uh, he's not trying to grandstand. He's not trying to be difficult about the whole thing. Based on the information we have so far, he's not
Yeah.
trying to be difficult about it. He's willing to cooperate and go on to somewhere else,
Okay.
which is
Mm-hmm.
obviously a good thing for Chelsea. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Chelsea can get, it's all about the money, not about the zeros and the numbers. If Chelsea can get a deal, right,
Yeah.
an outright sale deal that will benefit them, why, good
Mm-hmm.
and fine. It would be good to have him off the books. I mean, it's not a situation of wanting to send him on loan and he comes back. I'm not sure anybody at Chelsea wants to see him return to the club,
No.
right? So I think it's most like. But
Mm-hmm.
the question now is how many teams or which team will be willing to buy him outrightly? You know, there's a higher chance of team wanting to test him, test the water before
Mm-hmm.
deciding to spend the cash on him.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us? Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you now.
Hello? Yes, I do phone. Are you there around? Yeah.
Can you hear me? Outside, are you there? Outside, can you hear me?
Uh,
Outside, are you there? Outside, can you hear us? I think our network is a little bit fluctuating. Maybe she needs to go out and coming back. I'm not sure. I can't hear her very well. Outside, are you there? Outside, are you there? Can you hear me? Outside, are you there? Outside. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah, can you hear me?
hello,
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? We can hear you now. I can hear you very well. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
hello,
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
hello. Can you hear
The
me?
network- Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you very well. I can. I can. Go ahead. Finish up what you're saying. Finish up what you're saying. Can you hear me now? I think the network is fluctuating. I can't hear very well.
Hello,
Yeah, I can hear you now, but it's kind of breaking up. Can you go out and coming back because it's breaking up. It's breaking up though. It's breaking up. It's breaking up. Let me come in. Let me go out and coming back again. Let me go out and come in. It's breaking up, so I can't hear very well. I'm coming.
hello.
Yeah, let me come in and go out. It's breaking up. I can't hear very well. Let me go out and come in. I'll be back. The network is breaking up. So let me go out and come in. Is that okay? Can you hear me now? So offside, can you hear me now? Offside, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm waiting
Oh,
for
okay,
you.
yeah. The network was kind of going up and coming down. So I can hear you very well. Finish up your stuff. Finish up the topic.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Sorry for the
Mm-hmm.
interruption. So I was basically talking about the sale of Kepa, and I
Mm-hmm.
was saying if Chelsea can get a buyer,
Mm-hmm.
especially options, that would be a good idea. Option that would take him in an outright sale. That would be very good because I don't imagine Chelsea expects. I don't imagine anybody at Chelsea expects him, to return to the club.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's one side. On the other hand, if Chelsea can get the numbers, the figures they want for him, um, maybe at some point that may now be better to go on the 2 year loan. Remember that was what Kepa had, what's his name, Courtois had at Atletico Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if it's possible, he can go on loan, but then it has to include the clause to buy. You know, because keeping him as a Chelsea player and paying him that amount of money, 150,000 per week, is a lot of money. It's going to be a huge loss for Chelsea. Not forgetting that while they'll be paying that, they'll also be paying the new manager, the
Mm-hmm.
new goalkeeper. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So I think whichever one, I'm indifferent about what the choice is. The point is just to get him out and get someone else in. That's the most important thing for me.
Wow. For me, that I agree with what you said. I totally agree with everything you said. I totally agree with everything you said. You said everything right. It's absolutely correct. I have no kind of nothing to explain about it. You said everything right because it's not been up to the level of the goalkeeper Chelsea want as a number one. So in a long time, do we really trust him as a that kind of good goalkeeper? I don't think so. I don't think so for me. I do not think so. He hasn't lived up to expectation we needed for him to live up to. So for me, he hasn't lived to the expectation though. He hasn't. So for what you said, I kind of agree with you. He has to just go, just leave, just go. But do you see a scenario in which we can give Atletico Madrid Areza Balaga and get a black, or it's not possible?
Mm.
Is it possible, like maybe just give them Kepa with 40 million, then get a black? Or
I feel like Oblak is now part and parcel of the Atletico Madrid Football Club. I will be
mm-hmm,
surprised. He's the captain of the side,
mm-hmm,
one of the key players and leaders. And why would he want to leave Atletico Madrid where they are playing Champions League football regularly to Chelsea?
mm-hmm,
Except maybe for the money, or maybe just. I mean, I wouldn't even say a challenge because in Spain it's also challenging. So why exactly would he want to leave? Um, where he is at Atletico Madrid for
mm-hmm.
Chelsea. A new
Yeah.
manager trying, young players, new players. When he has a higher chance of winning the Champions League with Atletico than he does with Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So
and then
you don't
not
see.
not not even forgetting his transfer fee. It's a
Mm-hmm.
ton of money. If Chelsea were to swap him for Kepa, Chelsea might hand Kepa over and still be paying an excess of 16 or even 70 million pounds. Money that you can use to buy three players.
Wow.
It's only worth it, in my opinion.
Well, so you prefer you don't see it happening. You don't see it happening. You do not. So you don't see the deal of Kepa and them all black happening. That's not gonna happen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I said you don't see the deal of them all black and them Arrizabalaga happening at all.
No, no, no. I don't see. I don't see. That's why I said it's going to take a lot. Except Chelsea will be giving them the goalkeeper and giving them another player. And as I said, he's the captain. He's one
Mm-hmm.
of their key players. He's the leader in the side. He's earning his money. His transfer fee is so high. He's in a, more stable team. If you ask me,
Mm-hmm.
the manager is there. The players are there. It's more like a family. I don't see that happen. Chances of it very happening seems close to impossible for me.
My next topic now, I'm going a little bit out of Chelsea at the moment, is Kylian Mbappe. How big a miss will Kylian Mbappe be for PSG for the upcoming matches in Champions League? Will they miss him or will he be fit? Because the news I'm hearing from Kylian Mbappe is 15 weeks out of the 15 weeks. If it is 15 weeks, definitely is going to miss the Champions League. So, how big a miss will Kylian Mbappe be for PSG?
Well, of course, he's very key. The guy is like this. At the center of everything they do in attack. He's the pivot. He's the target man for everything that PSG does. Never mind Neymar. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Neymar is there to assist him, but right now he has overtaken Neymar to become the face of PSG.
Mm-hmm.
The Champions League. I think who are they playing in the Champions League again? Can't
Atlanta.
remember.
Atlanta.
Atalanta have been on a good run.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be the quarterfinal stage.
Yeah.
Ah, of course they'll miss him. They'll miss him. They'll miss his goals. Certainly.
Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be a big miss for them, right? For PSG. But can they play without Kylian? Can they be the way in which they can play without Kylian Mbappe?
Of course, there are ways they can play without Kylian Mbappe. I mean, there are other players on the bench. Uh, it's. I mean, they'll play without Kylian Mbappe, but it doesn't mean that they're playing to their highest strength. Because
Mm-hmm.
to break their highest strength, you must play with Mbappe, who is also in the squad. They may be a little bit weakened,
Mm-hmm.
but it is what it is. And certainly, they can play with him. Field some other 11 players to take on the job.
Wow. So, but I think for me though, Kylian Mbappe will be very missed for PSG. For me, it's been that their let me say their vocal point in terms of the way they play because they play like a 4-2-2 system, just like a 4-4-2 diamond, a 4-2-2 system, which is gonna help a lot for the attacking and everything. It's gonna be a huge miss for them because his injury is very tough. But the problem is about PSG is the mentality, how they play. Because if you don't have a very good mentality when you are playing Champions League, it's gonna be a huge problem for you. So you must have a very good mentality to play in the UCL for you to win it. We may say this team about when it talks about Champions League, you need mentality. Mentality is the key for Champions League because how do you survive? Like people said it, I kind of hate. I don't hate. I keep saying it. I do not hate Man City. The problem with Man City is mentality. It's all about mentality. How can they respond to team in the? You can beat any team in EPL 5-0, 6-0, 7-0. But if you go into Champions League and play woefully and play bad, you're gonna get beaten. Mercilessly, you're
Well,
gonna
I
get beaten.
mean, the reason why it seems like you have a special agenda against Manchester City is because City are not the only team that have balked at the Champions League. In fact, Juventus, for goodness
Mhm.
sake, have been gotten to two finals, but they failed to win any. It counts for
Exactly.
something. It's about mentality. So it
Hmm.
seems like you have a personal vendetta against Manchester City. I mean, this is me saying
Hmm.
um, as a professional comment. I understand they are football and banter, but certain times, sometimes you just let so it will be like we're hitting, I think we're hitting basically. But then
Exactly.
again, as I said, we said this thing before, and I told you, they are growing. Manchester
Hmm.
City is growing. They've not won it before, yes, but they're growing. They come from somewhere. Before Chelsea won it, Chelsea had gotten to the final without winning it.
Mm-hmm.
All those things count for something. Experience counts for something. They keep trying. This season, don't forget they have a 2-1 advantage over Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
So and the next leg is supposed to be in England. So there's it's not like all hope is lost. This very season or this very season is finally poised for Manchester City to win it. In a single leg tie, they have the advantage. So if you really, really do not want them to win it, you may want to tone down on your criticism so you don't jinx it in their favor.
I'm not criticizing. This is it. I'm not criticizing Man City. Like I respect them as a club, but also I respect Pep too. Um, what's called? I respect Pep too as a manager. Mm? But my problem with Man City is they like the mentality a lot because Pep Guardiola can spend that kind of money. At least you need to at least be in the Champions League semi-final. No, semis. Even if you can't win the Champions League, at least you have to be in the semi-final to show how good of a team. This is his number 4 season in Man City, and we keep giving him series of excuse, series of excuse, series of excuse. Which for me, I think it doesn't worth the excuse. No, if your manager is good, we respect him. If you are bad, you're bad. We say it out. We come out and say it, you are bad. You don't do this well, so you're bad. So let people kind of criticize you. So it makes you better when they criticize you. Then you know, oh, this is why I'm making my mistake. The next match or the following matches, I will surely improve. But you cannot be in the Champions League for 4 consecutive seasons and you haven't even go past the Champions League semi-final. I understand it's been unlucky in the Champions League, this and that, but I keep my reservation is gonna be on match. I'm gonna reserve my comment on them.
Sorry? Hello? Hello?
Until I think the network is bad. Let me.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
It's not very clear. It's
Yeah, I
not
think
very audible, I mean.
the network is a little bit going on and coming out. That's right. But can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So
So what did you say? Can you repeat what you
I
said?
said I'm keeping my reservation at the moment for both team, both Man City, both PSG, and both what's called Juventus at the moment. So because they've been bottling a lot in Champions League. Now we have to see how good of a team is. People say Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, this is time he has to prove us wrong because for me, he's the king of Champions League. He has to show how good of a player he is in the Champions League. You just have to show it. Before I get, yeah, I may not like Pep based on the way he starts and the way he plays and everything, but at the moment, I will keep my reservation to him. For now, I will. I wouldn't say too much stuff. I respect him as a manager, but I will keep my reservation at the moment for him. I will. I will. For me, I
Hello?
will. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what did you say?
I said at the moment, I said I will keep my reservation for the top team in the Champions League in Man City, Juventus, and Paris Saint-Germain. My reservation to them, I will keep it just because they are playing in Europe at the moment. Out of those three I mentioned, one of them has to win the Champions League. One of them has to win it.
Oh, really? You're tipping
Yes,
you're tipping Manchester City to win it.
out of those three, yeah, because I think a lot of state that people are kind of be splitting me a lot because we are at the Man City player. Okay, I'm gonna be lenient at the moment. Those three men I just mentioned now, Man City, PSG, and Juventus, one of them has to win the Champions League.
Yes.
If one
Same
of
with
them doesn't win the
Manchester City.
Champions League, for me, it's a total failure. It's a total failure for me. It's a huge failure if they do not win it. So they have to win that Champions League. People say, yeah, Real Madrid may come in the second leg and overturn the 2-1 deficit. It's very possible.
No
It's football.
chance. Not this Real Madrid against Manchester City.
You guys are not giving Madrid a chance. I keep saying it. This is football. Anything is possible. Real Madrid may come in and turn it out. It's very
Of
possible.
course, anything is possible.
hmm Because yes, I know they do not have Sergio Ramos. but you cannot write Real Madrid off. That is what you can do in a football. You can't write them off because they can come in and just come in and play. We have watched Man City this year. They struggle a lot when the team go deep block towards them and they go on the counter with them. They struggle a lot. When you give them space, they will score goals. But if you don't give them space and you go defensive with them, they will concede too many goals, tons of goals they will concede. Now, how do Real Madrid play? Sometimes Real Madrid doesn't play they don't even keep playing football. They play pragmatically sometimes. And Zinedine Zidane will have been watching the way Man City plays. He knows the way they play. So it will have his practice and formation worked out for them. So we can't just write him stuff and say they won't overturn. It's possible they will overturn the 2-1. It's very possible. We just can't write them off at the moment. But for you, you don't see it happening, right?
Hello?
I said for you don't see it happening. Or do you see it happening?
It's drifting. I'm not hearing everything you're saying. I don't see what's happening.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. It was
Okay,
breaking.
I said, can you see a 2-1 deficit being overturned by
Oh,
Real
by
Madrid?
Real Madrid, not against Manchester City. Manchester City won 5-0 today.
I
They don't
know.
seem to understand. They don't seem to understand, slow down or be
Mm-hmm.
a little bit cautious. It's just attack, attack, attack. And I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely see that happening again in Champions League. And guess what? I expect them to beat Real Madrid by a larger score margin.
A larger score. Is Real Madrid we are talking about. This is not Norwich. This is not
This
Southampton.
is not Real Madrid of before. This Real Madrid is different. This Real Madrid is a Madrid that stumbled to the title.
Hmm. But do you know this Real Madrid team they just won the La Liga and they are in very good form at the
Of
moment.
course,
And their
everybody
away
knows.
form, their away form
Everybody
is better
knows.
than their home form. You know that, right?
Everybody.
Mm-hmm. I can hear
Everybody
you.
knows why. Everybody knows why. Um. I mean, when Real Madrid was winning it with Cristiano Ronaldo, when they had a good run. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's different. You know,
Mm-hmm. Hmm. But
it's
yes, it's true.
different. It's
But
not the
for
same
me,
Real Madrid of before.
I think it's still very possible. Anything can happen if they could just come in and turn it around. It's very, very possible. I'm not gonna write off Real Madrid. I won't. I won't.
Sorry.
I said I won't write off Real Madrid at the moment. I will not write them off. I won't.
I mean, yeah, you can choose not to.
I won't because this Real Madrid, yeah, they may not have Cristiano Ronaldo in that team, but when Madrid turn up, they turn up. When they turn up, they turn up. They are the champions of La Liga. So that speaks something. If they're not good enough to win
Yeah.
the La Liga, they will not win it. They're possibly good enough ahead of Barcelona to win the La Liga.
Mm-hmm.
So you have and ever after the lockdown has been come, they have won 10 consecutive matches in a row without losing. So Zinedine is doing something in that team that I don't think other manager could do. So we have to give that Madrid team a huge credit, a huge one.
Absolutely.
Yes, Man City are favorite. I'm not backing out of that, but it's just a 2-1 that can easily be overturned. Easily be
Exactly.
overturned. Yet
Yeah,
no
but
Sergio
there's
Ramos.
also there's also that part that you're forgetting, yeah, that
Mm-hmm,
Barcelona hasn't really been top notch so far this season.
mm-hmm,
Especially the tail end of the season after the restart, they seem to have
mm-hmm,
dropped points here and there. So
mm-hmm.
it's worth mentioning. Real Madrid on their own part, they know they've not had the best of seasons,
Yeah.
but it is what it is, I guess. But one thing
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you is I would be absolutely surprised if Manchester City somehow find a way to bottle it. Absolutely surprised.
You'll be surprised, but for me, I will not be surprised because it's Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid. So I won't be surprised if Real Madrid backed out. If Real Madrid kind of win the match, I will not be surprised because it's Real Madrid, and we have to just respect them. Now, if Man City lose, my goodness, I don't. At the moment, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. At the moment, if
Mm.
Man City lose against Real Madrid, no one should just come out and with an excuse and say Pep Guardiola doesn't do this. I don't want to hear that. But at the moment, let's see them play first before we say anything. So Liverpool guys, how you doing? Well,
I'm
congratulations on
alright. Oh yeah,
congratulations on
World
congratulations on
Cup fans,
making
World
top
Cup
four
fans,
of
World Cup fans.
July.
you said what?
Chelsea fans, man. I say congratulations on making top four.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I remember I
Congratulations.
called it. I told you I was like
Mhm.
Man United and Chelsea for top four,
Yeah,
Leicester
you said it.
for
You said it.
fifth.
Mm-hmm.
because Brendan Rodgers doing Brendan Rodgers things. Trust me, I would know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
To be honest, I feel really bad for Leicester City. They were in second place at some point, and then went down to third, and only for them to end up in fifth place at the business
Six,
end of
like
things. When it mattered the most.
no, the capitulation. No, that's a bottle job.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, but I mean, no, Europa isn't like Europa League football isn't bad for a club of their
Come
stature and
on,
size.
come on.
In the bigger scheme of things, when you like look at the bigger scheme of things.
Nah, fam. Lots of money lost. Lots of money lost.
Okay, yeah, true. Okay, yeah, true. If you're looking at the finance side of things, then yeah.
Mm.
Can we talk about relegation? Let me
Watford getting
quickly
relegated to the
relegated.
Yeah, can we
scenes.
talk about relegation? I think Aston Villa made it today. Aston Villa they made it. So the relegation team is Bournemouth, Watford, and who again? Bournemouth, Watford,
What?
and who is the last person?
Good
Norwich.
riddance, Watford. Good
Norwich.
riddance.
Norwich.
Okay.
Norwich already relegated.
Yeah, so Norwich,
Yeah.
Watford, and Bournemouth. And Aston Villa made it. They made it to the finally they made it to the what's it called, EPL. So like guys, were you kind of happy and confident like if Villa's gonna make it, or you were just like Watford is gonna make this happen? Or when they start Niger Pearson, you were like, oh, it's gone for them already.
Yeah, no, I didn't give them well when they sacked Nigel Pearson, like I didn't really give them. Yeah, I didn't see them because like he was the one who got them into that position where they could have possibly,
Mm-hmm.
gotten themselves out of the relegation zone, and then like they decide to sack him with 2 games to go, which was a very very stupid decision, very stupid decision. And then look at them now; they've been relegated. They're probably gonna lose a lot of their good players, like Islam Assar, Tukure, like all of these guys. They wanna. These guys are probably gonna wanna. They're obviously gonna wanna play Premier League football. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's really worrying times for Watford and Bournemouth also. Worrying times for them.
Mm-hmm. So was it? Oh, okay. So, but were you surprised that Villa made it they made it? Were you surprised?
No, no, I'm not really too surprised because they did manage to get themselves they did manage to get themselves out of the bottom three with that result against Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like like I said, like the Villa's fate was in their own hands, and Watford and Bournemouth to a certain extent they were relying on that West Ham and Aston Villa result, in terms of like how the relegation battle would shape up. And obviously, if Villa did what they needed to do, they got the points that they needed, which has kept them up. So yeah, and plus, it's great for the Premier League that Villa haven't been relegated because they're a very big club. They have they have 5 league titles. They have 2 Champions Leagues. So yeah, it's good for the league that those guys didn't get relegated. But in terms of, I mean, yeah, especially when you have somebody like Jack Grealish in your team, you always
Mm-hmm.
have a chance. You always have a chance.
Wow. So, do you see Jack Grealish leaving Villa, or is he gonna stay just because they made it to the champion and to the EPL? Do you see him staying or leaving?
Oof, that's actually a very
Because
difficult
I hear
one.
United.
Because we was a couple of weeks I was thinking about that. If they do get relegated, then yeah, he's definitely gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
Now, well, I think we just have to wait and see. We just have to wait and see. Like, was the transfer window? I don't know if the transfer windows. I don't know when the transfer window is going to open.
We
I
open
know. I think it
tomorrow.
opens
We
tomorrow.
open
Yeah,
tomorrow.
it opens tomorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to wait and see. What happens. If yeah, but I think yeah, I think he might stay. He might stay because they did manage to stay up. He might decide to stay.
Hmm. So you see, you might say. So
Yeah, I think he might stay.
what's your take on the Europa League spots? I think let me see who is on fifth. Let me bring out the Premier League table on fifth. So I think Chelsea finished fourth. Fifth position is who finished fifth? Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Leicester.
Oh,
No,
Leicester
Leicester
finished
finished fifth.
fifth.
Yeah,
Who finished
and
sixth?
then
Tottenham finished fifth.
Spurs.
Then seventh is Sheffield United, right?
No, it's Wolves.
Who eight is wait. Where did Sheffield finish? I need to check the EPL table.
For Sheffield, I think Sheffield finished 8th.
Eight. So who made
Yeah.
it to the Champions League now? So if Wolverhampton wins it, Wolverhampton won that win the
So
Europa
no,
League.
basically, Leicester and Spurs, they got automatic qualification.
Okay.
Wolves. It depends on what happens in the final. If you guys win, then Wolves go to Europa League. If Arsenal win, then Arsenal get that spot. Arsenal go to Europa League.
So to understand now, Tottenham and the Leicester City automatic qualification already. So now it's gonna be
Yeah.
between Wolverhampton and Arsenal. So
Yeah.
if Wolverhampton Wanderers win the Europa League, they go straight to the Champions League.
Yeah,
No
they go straight. Yeah, they go straight
So
to
if Chelsea
Champions
beat
League.
Arsenal on Saturday, then Arsenal doesn't make it to the Champions League. Then what of Sheffield United?
Oh no, you can. I think no, you can only have 7. You can. I think England is only allowed a maximum of 7 teams. Like in both European competitions.
17?
7 teams, only 7 teams. Like
So
8 teams would just 8 teams would just be madness. From
wow,
the same league now. Yeah, 8 teams would just be madness.
wow.
So no,
So
it's usually like the top 7 who get like the European spots.
European sports. So that I'm bringing at the
Yeah.
table now, just for me to make some clarification because I still don't understand it. So if Wolverhampton Wanderers win the Europa League now, automatic qualification, no doubt.
Oh
Automatic.
no, if Wolves win, if Wolves win the Europa League, they're going straight to Champions League.
So
They
they
go
go to the
straight to
Champions League. Okay. So if Chelsea beat Arsenal next week now, Arsenal doesn't make it to the Champions League, right?
Yeah, and if Chelsea beats Arsenal, then Wolves definitely will go to Europa. That's if they don't win the Europa League.
If they don't win the Europa League.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Wolverhampton Wanderers wins the Europa League and Arsenal doesn't make it to the Champions League, doesn't win the FA Cup, Arsenal goes out. Then here comes Sheffield United, who's gonna be who's already in 9th position. They will slot in for Arsenal if Arsenal doesn't win the FA Cup.
Yeah, I actually don't like it's very like that 7 spot qualify. It's very confusing. It's very confusing. Yeah, because even because I'm thinking now, like, okay, like if like let's say Arsenal win the Europa. Okay, I think no. If Arsenal win the Europa League,
No.
I'm sorry. If Arsenal win the FA Cup, they get Wolves spot and Wolves miss out on Europe. Yeah.
They don't go to Europa League.
Sorry.
If they lose, they don't go to Europa League.
Who Arsenal?
Yeah, if Arsenal lost,
Yeah. They don't go to Europa League.
Okay.
Because top four is usually for Champions League, and then the 5, 6, and 7 is usually for Europa League.
Europa League. So
and yes, and 7 is always dependent on who wins the FA Cup.
Okay. So let's say Arsenal get out of the Europa League now. Then they don't win the Europa League, they get out. And now Wolverhampton Wanderers went on to win the UEFA Europa League. Now automatic qualification. Someone has to get that Wolverhampton Wanderers spot. Someone has to get a spot.
Between
seventh gets it then.
So 7th.
Yeah.
Yes, the team is 7th will get it.
Okay, this is my question. Okay, let's say Wolverhampton Wanderers wins the Europa League now, out of the equation, automatic qualification. Now Arsenal lose the FA Cup now, out. Now it's gonna be in between Sheffield United, Burnley, because those are 9 and 10. So someone has to get the Wolverhampton Wanderers spot and Arsenal spot. Someone has to get it.
No, if okay, as the way the table is now, yeah. Automatically 5th and 6th qualify. Right? 5th and 6th qualify for the Europa League, and that's sorry, can you stop moving the table? And that's Leicester City and Tottenham. Right?
Yeah.
Hello, and that's Leicester City and Tottenham. So what it means now is if Wolves are hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think there's noise in the background. So what it means now is if Wolves are still in the Europa League, so if Wolves go on to win it, right, it means automatic qualification for next season's Champions League, not Europa League.
Okay.
Yes. Remember, the winner of the Europa League qualifies for the Champions League.
Champions League, yeah.
Exactly. So if Wolves go on to win it, it's an automatic qualification for the winner for the Champions League, and then every other thing remains the same. There won't need to be another person, to take the position of Wolves. Do you understand?
You are okay.
Because
no, you mustn't forget.
Wolves are currently not in 5th or 6th place.
And you mustn't forget, like that seventh. Usually how it works is I think usually how it works is Tottenham got automatic qualification because Man City won the Carabao Cup, and if you win that, you get like you get an automatic spot into the Europa League.
No,
And
that
since
was for the
obviously, yeah.
FA Cup. It's the FA Cup, not Carabao
Oh, it's
Cup.
the FA Cup. Sorry,
It's
sorry.
the FA
Carabao
Cup
Cup is for
because
the, yeah.
you remember the Carabao Cup is not applicable in all other leagues. It's the FA Cup, like the Coppa del Rey, um, what they call it in Italy, Coppa Italia. The Carabao Cup is mostly an England thing.
Okay, so
The FA
it's
Cup,
just it's just the
yeah,
FA
it's
Cup.
the FA
Okay, all
Cup
right.
exactly, which is why
Okay.
Wolves, right, for Wolves to qualify, um,
Mhm.
other than them win, hello, please. I don't know.
Can you,
There's noise in the background. I
Liverpool,
don't know
can you
where it's
turn up
coming
the radio
from.
a little bit? Some
Please,
background
can you
talking
turn it off, please?
at the background. Oh yeah, it's okay now. It's good now.
Yeah.
So go
Hello,
ahead.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so it's basically based on that Wolves, because they're not occupying any of the Europa League spots now, they
Yeah.
would basically be hoping on Chelsea to defeat Arsenal in the FA Cup final for them to take that slot, that third slot for England, and that would be for England to qualify for the I think the knockout stage. Sorry, the qualifier stage of the Europa League.
Europa League, yeah.
Yeah, the qualifier stage of the Europa League. Other than that, it's just for them to win the Europa League and then find their way to the Champions League. But other than that, there is no other thing they can do to qualify for the Europa League. Arsenal, on the other hand, need to win the FA Cup to qualify for the Europa League. You get me? So that's basically what it is.
I'm understanding now. Now it's breakdown. It's been understood now. I get it now. So what's your take? I'm sorry, what's your take on the relegation battle? Were you surprised in Aston Villa's like staying up, or you were not surprised, or you thought they're gonna go down because it's the relegation year? So Aston
Well,
Villa,
not Aston Villa.
what?
Honestly,
Yeah.
Aston Villa surprised me. I had totally written them. In fact, I felt bad for them. I really did not want them to go down. Due to Chelsea's ties to the club through
Mm-hmm.
John Terry, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, especially after the restart, they were losing games, and I felt, nah, it's all over. I even expected them to go down to be confirmed before Norwich. But then
Mm-hmm.
I always struggled to understand why they were where they were, because when you watch Aston Villa play well. They tend to, play interesting football, but it just seemed like things were not going in their favor, especially when it mattered. But then again, if you ask me, I feel like they have to give a huge credit for this their survival to the game against Sheffield United.
Mm-hmm. Outside, can you hear us?
Here, you can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I felt like that particular game against Sheffield United, that one a goal by Sheffield United was ruled out through VAR, is the
Mm-hmm.
reason Aston Villa survived. you know. And
Mm-hmm.
also, to an extent, credit to them, the fought in that particular game, the surprise game that they won. I think it was the penultimate game before this last game. That was the game against Arsenal. They defeated Arsenal 1-0. The last game before this one on today, on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So many people didn't expect them to defeat Arsenal. I remember that was after Arsenal had defeated Liverpool and Manchester City in
Mm-hmm.
a week.
Yep.
So they fought for themselves, and it was at that point I said, "Oh wow, they could do something here." And
Yeah.
to their credit, a draw was just enough for them to secure their safety.
Okay.
Credit to
Wow.
them, yes,
Credit to them.
they fought hard. Yeah.
Mm. So my question to Offside and the next question to you guys now is, I know Liverpool fans, this question directly to you, but I think I'm gonna go with Offside first. Liverpool are the Premier League champion, 99 points already. So
Mhm.
do you see them kind of mounting a guilt? Do you see another team maybe next season coming up and mount a challenge on Liverpool and Manchester City? And if you see the team, which two teams are you tipping to challenge, not to win the EPL, but to put both
Um,
Liverpool and Man City onto their sword, like challenge them, make them look back
mhm.
and like, wow, this team are real good. We need to focus more if you wanna become champion. So which two teams are you guaranteed, are you are confident that this team will push both Man City and Liverpool? So go outside.
To be honest with you, I would say there will be more than two teams
Mm-hmm.
to push Liverpool. In fact, I don't expect Liverpool to win the title next. They won't win the title. Not that I don't expect. They won't win the title next season, especially if they don't sign new players. You don't go 2 seasons without signing, reinforcing your side, especially after doing well. They've won the Premier League, won the Champions League. What more do they want to win? A major trophy. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I wouldn't exactly be saying pushing Liverpool come next season because they may just be far behind. But then again, I expect to see Manchester City, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea,
Mm-hmm.
and Mourinho's Tottenham Football Club. I
So
expect
same
more
Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham Hotspur. Yes,
Wow.
yes.
So you don't see United challenging
I
Liverpool and
mean,
Man
I would see. You said two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would talk about Manchester United. I said they're actually more than two, in my opinion. Four teams: Man City, yes. Chelsea, right? Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Manchester United.
Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, and Manchester
In
United.
that
That's
in that order, yes, in that order,
four teams. You are going out for to challenge for the APL title.
yes.
Wow. So Liverpool guys, what's your take? Who do you think is gonna challenge the Premier League champion for next season? Apart
Um,
from teams, you say yeah, they will push both Man City and Liverpool.
I think, yeah, I think Man United could get a bit closer to Chelsea, to Liverpool and Man City next season,
Mm-hmm.
and Chelsea if they fix their defense. Because I think attacking in terms of like attack, they good there. They just need to fix their defense. Otherwise, they have no chance. Chelsea need to fix their defense. I think like that's the only area right now
And
of
the
the
goal
pitch where I feel
and the goalkeeper.
uh,
You don't even talk about the
yeah,
goal.
and Chelsea need to fix their back five basically to have a chance. And I think also with Man United, I think like the Man United probably maybe they need another centre back and maybe a left back. And then there will be, but yeah, I think I would expect those two teams out of like the top three. I think like Chelsea and Man United are probably like the two teams that are more looking more likely to be able to
What about Man
challenge
City?
Liverpool next.
After you saying something?
You know,
I'm wondering if he has forgotten Man City.
You
oh
said
no, Man City is already in there by default. Man City is already in there by default. They're already in there by default. Yeah, so it's just like those two, and they just have to be, they just have to play, they just have to win consistently because Liverpool and Man City have shown for the past 2 seasons that like nowadays you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent to be able to win the league. Man City, they won the league with 100 points. The next season they won it with 98 points. I mean, sorry, they won with 98 points. We finished second with 99. I mean, with
97.
97. This season we won it with 99. But so basically nowadays, I think to win the league, you need to get like 90 plus points. And I think those are those like the sort of heights that Man United and Chelsea next season should be aiming for in order to be able to challenge Liverpool and Man City.
Wow.
Hmm.
So, so Liverpool guys, let me ask you the question. I think this question directly to you. If you guys doesn't sign a replacement or no recruitment of the coming season, do you see guys winning the EPL next season or no?
No, no, I think we definitely need to freshen up. Otherwise, like the squad will start stagnating. Like you can't be playing the same kind of high energy, high pressing football with the same squad for 3 years. It just does not work. We need new signings, to keep the competition fresh, to have fresh legs in the squad. Or yeah, basically we're gonna like what happened to City this season might happen to us this next season. So yeah, definitely we need to make signings this summer, just to stay ahead of the other type. Because definitely other teams are strengthening. Chelsea is strengthening. Man United is obviously going to strengthen. Man City is obviously going to strengthen. So yeah, we're definitely going to need to make signings if we want to retain our title.
Okay, good.
But sorry, can I just ask this question to a Liverpool fan, yeah, Liverpool guy, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As a Liverpool fan, genuinely, do you? I'm not trying to banter or to slate you guys, right? But do you think your team, when you review the whole season, not just the Premier League, the whole season, including the Champions League, the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, every competition out there that was open to Liverpool to compete in, do you think your team underperformed as a whole, as a season, not just in the Premier League?
Mm, it's a very because at the start of the season, everybody knew that Liverpool wanted the Premier League. That's what we wanted from day one. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, yeah,
I'm
obviously,
listening.
yeah, and
I'm listening.
obviously,
That's
I
the
know,
point.
and I get what you mean because we went out to Atletico in the round of 16, and then we went out to Chelsea. I mean, we lost to Aston Villa, but then again, Klopp has always been like that. He doesn't really take the domestic competitions too seriously. He's always, I think for him, like the big fish in terms of trophies are
Yeah, that's
always
the thing.
Champions League.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
Doesn't
I
it
don't I don't
bother
know. I
you
don't know.
that?
Maybe that might change next season, since we've won the I think like maybe that was his excuse for not really taking the cup competitions too seriously, that he was trying to challenge for the Premier League. And then also people mustn't
doesn't
also forget
doesn't that
like our
mentality
squad,
bother
we don't
you?
have.
Doesn't that
Sorry?
mentality, because I mean, doesn't that mentality bother you? Because usually, when you talk about teams that win the title, usually, the big teams, before you see them, getting knocked out. Let's even take away the Champions League, right? Okay, they get knocked out of the Champions League quarterfinal stage, round of 16. Yeah, good and fine, semi-final. And then you talk about the FA Cup. At least they go far in these other competitions. But when you have a team that, in my opinion, Liverpool was dominant in the past 3 years, they had everything to compete to the highest level on all fronts. Even if they didn't go, I mean, even if they wouldn't have gone on to win all of them, but to compete, that's what we talk about when we're referring to the best teams, some of the best teams out there. Liverpool had not considered to have pulled a Leicester City, right? Liverpool was ready. There was a build up to this title that they won. So for me, from where I see it, is the mentality of having to just, for a big team like Liverpool, as well furnished and armed as they were, to just concentrate on a single trophy, right? A single trophy that they've spent so much and been building up to. Not like Leicester City again. Leicester City was just out of the blues. They came out of nowhere and they took it. But the build up and then focus on just one trophy. It's a different thing when you compete and you play and you get knocked out. But it's an entirely different thing and a weak mentality, if you ask me. A worrisome mentality, sorry for using the other word. A worrisome mentality when the manager is going for just one trophy from start to finish without even competing. You talk about teams in the past winning the double, Manchester United winning the treble, getting to the final, getting to the semi-final, and I feel to an extent it takes something away from the team, the squad, the current Liverpool squad. That's the way I see it. And I said to ask you, so it's we're having a conversation, hoping that you not see it as banter or me trying to sleep. It's just me trying to see it from you know, the football side of things.
Go ahead, finish up, upside, finish up.
Yeah, I'm done. That's just basically what.
Let the
Yeah.
Liverpool guys let him respond. Liverpool guys, what's your take on that?
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, like I mean, I obviously like, yeah, in the past, like I would have loved Klopp to have, competed on offer. But I think you kind of also have to like put a bit of context to it. Like, I mean, Liverpool's Cup, we don't have
I genuinely
in
wanted
terms
to
of
hear
like,
what he has to
yeah,
say
you see,
about it because
yeah,
I feel like
yeah, yeah, continue.
focus on the Premier League. There's not such thing as focus. You have to compete. You have to compete. Even if you're resting your players, you have to compete. It just feels weird to me.
Yeah, like I was saying, I think I was saying that I think Klopp was probably using the excuse that the fact that Liverpool hadn't won the league, as an excuse of like not to compete in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. I feel like since we've now that we've gotten the the whole 30 year, we haven't won the league and that whole thing out of the way. I would expect him to be more competitive, to compete on all fronts next season. But then you also have to look at, in term like look at City for an example. They have a bench that's good enough to win the league. We don't. Like that's just a matter of fact. So for us, because like we have a very good starting 11, but then when you look at our bench, you're kind of just like and if for example, if somebody like Van Dijk or like Salah or Mane was to get injured, like we don't really have anyone on the bench who can have the same kind of impact that those guys would have. So that's why I'm just hoping that that we have a very good transfer window this season. That we add world class players to the squad. To create a bit of squad depth, so that we're able to compete more competitively in all competitions that are available to us. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I think it's just I think that Klopp has always been like this way. I think Klopp has just been this way because he's been using the excuse of we hadn't won the league, as an excuse to not compete in the other competitions. But like, I don't think he used like I said, I don't think he used that excuse next season, because we've won the league and so on. So yeah, I think next season I would expect him to compete. And yeah, I would expect him to take like the cup competitions more seriously next season.
Okay, good. So my next question to you guys is I think I'm gonna start with upside with this. I know the defense and our let me say our goalkeeper never need to be fixed, but I think we need to take a look at them N'Golo Kante first for me. So I've been saying I think I mentioned it in the last round. I think we need a replacement in his position because he's been way injured a lot this year, and we need a cover in terms of a player who can cover up for him in case he gets injured again. Then we know we have someone who can cover up. The team doesn't take the spot N'Golo Kante takes. You can't play that kind of position where Kante plays. Now, Kante plays overall, covers all the position in that midfield, and both the defensive area too. Both also the defensive too. Now, so in terms of getting a replacement for Kante, just someone who can cover up. Who do you have in your mind who can you can see, yeah, if Kante is out, we have a replacement, someone who can cover up for Kante.
Well, I think first of all, we're at a point where we're making use of our academy products, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our academy graduates. Sorry. So I feel like we don't necessarily have to go out there and sign someone. It's just unfortunate that Kante is getting injured very
Mm-hmm.
often in recent times. But we
Yep.
don't. So as long as we still have him in our books, as things are, and we're not
Mm-hmm.
looking for an immediate first choice player, a player like Billy Gilmore that we have is okay to do the job. I mean, until the injury he had, he had been playing. He had been playing, except that particular game that he got subbed off at halftime. But after that, he played another game and he did a good job of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Billy Gilmore can actually do the job. Billy Gilmore is not exactly competing with Kovacic or a Barkley or a Loftus Cheek.
Mm-hmm.
The Kante position is where he seems to have done, fair enough. He has confidence. He's good on the ball. He has some form of Jorginho and Kante in him. He may not exactly be Kante or may not be like Kante,
Mm-hmm.
but Conte. Sorry, he may not be like Conte as he likes to be pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
But he's good enough as a backup, in my opinion. Barring the injury that he suffered, I feel like we would have seen more of him on the second part of this season. So I don't think we need to sign another player as long as we're not talking about an immediate first choice. If you
Mm-hmm.
decide to sign a player like this guy at West Ham, what's
Declan
his
Rice.
name? Declan Rice, for example. You're not going to keep Declan Rice on the bench. If
No,
Declan Rice is fit and N'Golo Kante is fit, what then happens?
exactly. You can't play
So
both of them. You
I
have to play
think
one.
it's just okay for us to continue to make do with the academy products we have, and as long as Kante recovers from injury. Other than that, if we're getting rid of him or we feel okay, that means he's not going to recover um from the injuries that he keeps, recurrent injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're talking about replacing him. In that case, we may be talking about, going into the market and getting in a more experienced player to take his place. But
Mm.
other than that, personally, I'm very fine with Billy Gilmore taking that role.
Oh, okay.
And
So
even Kovacic has played that. He may not be like Kante, but games are different.
yeah, that's good. So in your view now, who do you think will win the Europa League? Where Inter Milan, Bayern Leverkusen, Manchester United, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Who wins it?
Well, I think it's too early to call, but I don't see Wolves winning it. Zero chance. More likely maybe Inter Milan, Manchester United. That would be a fascinating final, won't it be?
Hmm.
That would be a fascinating final. Inter Milan, Manchester United.
Mm.
I can't call the winner for now, but I think both of them should at least get to the semi-final.
Mm. Wow. So you are tipping Inter Milan and what's called Man United into the Europa League final. So you're tipping Inter Milan and
Yes,
Manchester United into
absolutely.
the wow. Hmm. That's gonna be tough though. Romelu
Yes.
Lukaku coming back. It's gonna be huge tough.
Oh yes, not just Lukaku. Yeah, there's
Alexis
Ashley
Sanchez,
Young, there's
Ashley Young.
Sanchez, there's a couple of former Manchester United and actual like Man United, current Manchester United players. I don't know if the contract will permit them to play against United,
No, Lukaku
but
will play.
I don't think it doesn't. I don't think it exists in Europe because I remember when Chelsea needed to face Atletico Madrid,
Mm-hmm.
and Courtois was still Atletico goalkeeper.
He played there. He
There were
played there.
conversations. I think UEFA does not recognize that.
Okay.
UEFA does not recognize that. So they may actually have, or Sanchez may actually have an opportunity to turn up against Manchester United. But if that does happen, that would be such an entertaining. It would be like a Champions League final, you know, two big European teams in the Europa League. It would be like a Champions League final, and I'm sure UEFA will want to sell that kind of product. Yes.
Wow, Inter Milan versus United. Antonio Conte
Mm-hmm.
plays and he wins the Europa
Europa
League.
League final.
Wow, and he wins the Europa League in his first season for Inter Milan. Gonna be a huge success for him coming up on the next season because many teams has already tipping them to win the Scudetto next season. He has to. He has no chance. He has no excuse now than to win the Scudetto next season.
Who?
Already people are already tipping Antonio Conte to win the Scudetto next season.
Honestly, I think this season he underperformed with all the players he had, all the signings they did. There were times when they dropped points unnecessarily. I expected so much from him, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I expected so much from him following after all the support he got from the side. Unfortunately it
Mm-hmm.
didn't happen. Especially with the way Sarri and his Juventus side were faltering, dropping points left, right, and center. I
Mm-hmm.
expected Inter Milan to take advantage of that, but it didn't turn out. Let's see how it goes.
Wow. Oh, that's a long one, but that's for me. I think I still see. There's a team I've not mentioned, Bayern Leverkusen. They've been on fire in the Europa League. If you look at them, they've been on fire. So do you see them at an outside chance of making it to the final or
No,
winning it?
no, no. Except somehow they meet, except Inter Milan and Manchester United somehow meet themselves before, like, get to meet each other before the final. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe Leverkusen is on a different trajectory. Yeah, maybe. But if Manchester United and Inter Milan don't meet each other before the final, I don't expect Leverkusen to find their way to the final. No, not when you have those big boys.
Wow. So you don't expect those two to even make it at all. Wow.
Which two? I mean, Leverkusen. I don't expect Leverkusen to make it to the final.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. So sum up overall Chelsea season. Sum it up. One rating. Rate them.
The players,
The entire season
one
entirely,
by
not the
one.
players. Overall season. Rate them. What rating will you give them?
Okay, because I was just about to rate each player individually and give you
Okay, we'll go
serious
to the
evaluation.
we'll go to the player individually, but at the
Or we
moment,
should
let
go
me
to
go
the,
to this.
the players first and then
Okay,
the team collectively. That's as a
okay,
season.
Okay, player first then. Player first. Go for it.
Okay. For the goalkeepers, let me start from the back. The goalkeepers, I would say Kepa Arrizabalaga. I would give him a 4 out of 10. 4/10. Oh no, let me not be too harsh, so it won't seem like I'm not being honest or professional about it. I'll give Kepa Arrizabalaga a 5 out of 10 for obvious reasons. I mean, I don't have to go through it, and it's not unlike some other people. I'm not surprised about the performances he puts out because I saw those issues last season, and it doesn't seem to have improved one bit. It seems to have even gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that issue he had with Sari hasn't seemed to have done him good. He already had his name in the bad books because of that. Then Willie Caballero, for every time he came on, I mean, he was in a good shift. I'll give him a 7. Willie Caballero, right? Then let me go to right back. Right back, I'll say Rhys James. Rhys James, his very first season at the club, I'll give him a 7 as well, right? Maybe generous, but 7 will do. Um, Cesar Azpilicueta, I'll give Cesar Azpilicueta. If you talk about just his performance, okay, let me just give him an 8 because he's a loyal servant of the club, not just on the pitch, but as a leader and the captain of the side.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to centre backs, I would give Christensen a 7/10, 6/10, 6/10 as a season. Same thing goes for Fikayo Tomori, 6/10. Rudiger, I'll give him a 7/10. Zuma, 7.5/10. In my opinion, has been in the midst of all these issues. I think, especially this past couple of games. Are you there? This past
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
games that he has been in the side, I'll give him 7.5, or let me just be generous and say an 8/10. In my opinion, he's the best defender Chelsea has, especially with what he contributes for aerial balls, aerially.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else? Rudiger is 7. Christensen is 6, in my opinion. On the left hand side of the pitch, we have Marcos Alonso. I'll give Alonso a 6/10. Emerson barely played. Even when he played, there was nothing phenomenal about his game. So just for turning up and not, scoring an own goal, maybe I'll give him a 4. Sorry, 5/10. Are you laughing? A
I'm,
five
not,
over ten.
I'm just smiling.
And sorry.
I'm just smiling. Your rating is okay. I won't talk. You have to finish up before I rate my own.
Yeah, we're still in the defense. We've not gotten to attack.
Okay.
So the defense has been our biggest problem. Then
Mm-hmm.
we go to midfield. Jorginho, I'll give Jorginho a 7/10. Billy Gilmore a 6. He played a couple of games. A 6. Is 6 too much, too generous? Seeing that it's his first season, I'll give him a 6. I remember the 2 games he played back to back, Everton and Liverpool, one
Yeah.
man of the match performances. So I'll give him a 6. Um, Then Mateo Kovacic, I'll give Kovacic an 8. Absolutely. Arguably the best, in my opinion. Or 8.5. 9 may be too much. But let me just say an 8. And then we talk about Barkley. Barkley, you get somewhere a 6 down there. Um, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he barely played. But when he played, he did nothing fantastic. I'll give him a 5. Who else am I missing in that midfield? N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante, yeah, he played, but in my opinion, nothing. He didn't do anything really fantastic. I'll give him a 7. He wasn't helped by the injuries he suffered. On who else? Am I missing another person in the midfield?
Mm, I don't think so. You've
I
mentioned
don't
it.
think
Messi
so.
Mount.
Yes, Mason Mount. Yes. No, but Mason Mount is more of an attacker. So Mason Mount now. I would give him for the hard work he puts in. Maybe I would say if there was 7.75, you know, or 7.5, I'll give him an 8. Let me just give him an 8. But senior, when it comes to they have they have second class upper and second class lower.
Mm-hmm.
So well, let me just give him an 8 and maybe Kovacic 8.5. And then William for me definitely a 7, nothing more. Nah, nothing more than that. On the other wing, we have Pulisic. Pulisic, yeah, for the times he played, 7.5. Um, I mean, he'd have been one of our best players, but due to the times he didn't turn up, he wasn't on the pitch. I'll just give him that 7.5. Pedro barely played there. I'll give him a 6. And when he played, he did nothing fantastic for the side. He was barely there, basically. Um, I'll give him a 6. Up front, we have Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham, definitely a 6 for me. A 6 for me. Or let me give him a 6. No, a 6.5. That's what I'll give Tammy Abraham. Just for what he did at the start of the season. Other than that, he didn't do much. After he came on to replace Giroud, he just wasn't there on the pitch. And then for Olivier Giroud, I would give Olivier Giroud a 7.5 as well. Unfortunately, he did not start the season, with many appearances. So that's just what counts against him. Other than that, he did very well. Then for the manager, Frank Lampard, I would give him a 7.5. 7.5. Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5 for
Mm.
certain reasons. Yeah, the defense, not working on the defense, and some lineups here and there. That's why he finds himself there. But they're still finding a way to make it into the top four.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he gets as high as 7.5. Then the team as a whole, of
Mm-hmm.
course, do I even need to give a point? The fact that we're in fourth says something. But since I have to rate it over 10, I would say for the whole team, 7/10. That's the
Okay.
rating I'll give them.
If we win
Yeah.
the FA Cup now, what position, what has been the season for you?
Well, if we win the FA Cup, then I can now go on to rate them an 8.
8 over
An
10.
8. Because, yes, because a trophy counts for something.
Mm-hmm.
A trophy certainly counts for something, yes.
Now it's time for me to rate the players. Yeah, you've been giving them this kind of mark, but for me, I won't give them that mark because there's some players need to be shipped out immediately. They need to be shipped out of the club entirely. They even turn up next season. Some of them, a lot, need to be shipped out of the team entirely. So I'll go with Kepa first as my rating. I'm gonna give him 3/10 first. 3/10
Who?
because Kepa for me first. 3/10 for me.
Ah, sorry, were you writing down my rating? I wish I
Yeah,
wrote down my rating so I'll compare to yours.
yeah. You gave Kepa 5.
Well, I gave Kepa see, I'm
Mhm.
even generous.
I'm giving him 3/10. I'm giving him 3/10. I'm giving him 3.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. No, Kepa has lost a lot of confidence in the entire Chelsea fans. Entirely. He lost total confidence. His composure is poor. His coordination is poor. Everything about him just not true. His confidence is low. Low, very low confidence. So you can't have a goalkeeper in your team who has a low confidence and you're putting in your team. No. It's not gonna give you confidence you want as a team. No. I'm giving Kepa 3/10. 3/10. I'm even nice. If I want to be strict, I'll give him 1/10. If I want to be strict, I'll give him 1. But I'm just giving him 3 just because he make an appearance for Chelsea. That's it. So I'll go with the left back and the right back first, Aspiqueta. The beginning of season, Aspiqueta has been ups and down, ups and down. But since the pandemic has a little bit started, so I think I'm gonna give Aspiqueta. I'm gonna give him 6.5/10. 6.5 for me. I'll give him 6.5. He's been the captain, he's been the leader, but I'll give him 6.5 for me. I'll give him
Who?
6.5.
Who?
Aspiqueta.
What did I give him? 7. I gave
You,
him 7,
you give
right?
him 7, yeah. You give him 7. I'll
Okay.
give him 6.5 for me. So
Uh,
Rudiger for me. I'm giving Rudiger 4/10 for me.
wow.
Yeah, it's been yeah, 4/10 for me. No, 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 4/10. I'm not. I don't even
Wow.
see the pandemic and everything has been done. I'm giving him 4/10. Sometimes Rudiger play like a championship defender. I just look at this kind of
Yes.
shake my head like you play for Germany, who are a World Cup winner, and you're playing this for a Chelsea team. No, 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 no. I'm giving 4/10 for me. 4/10 for me. No, no, no. You can't be doing that in
Wow.
Chelsea. No, 4/10 for me. So consumer, I'm giving consumer 7.5 because arguably has been our best defender for me. 7.5 for me. It's been our best defender for me. Arguably for me. It's been our best defender. So I'm giving it 7.5 for me. So Andreas Christensen. Since Andreas Christensen is playing, he's been having some good matches, some up matches, some good matches, some up matches. I'm giving Christensen 6 for me. 6.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll put Christensen 6 for me. Now we go to Marcos Alonso. How? When we play back four, Alonso is out of the season. When you play back four, it's just done. But when you play back three, Alonso is the best left back in the world because he's just too good in that position. So sometimes Alonso has an up and sometimes has a down. But overall, this season, in the way Alonso has played, he has turned up and everything, I'm gonna give him 7.5 also because
Mm.
he has shown a lot. When we play back three, Alonso he has saved us a lot this year. And also when you play back four, it might not be good in back four, but it shows how important of a player he is, and he's been improving a lot. He has improved a lot. So I'll give him 7.5 for me, Alonso. Emerson Palmieri. Emerson Palmieri has not played really well this season. Lampard has kind of changing from Alonso to Emerson to Aspicota. So we don't really have a regular regular left back.
But it is his fault that if he has been performing very well, Lampard
Mm-hmm.
will be playing him. That's what it
Yeah,
means. So the fact
exactly.
that Lampard is not playing him means that he's not performing well.
He's not performing well.
So
Exactly.
it's a
Hmm.
bad one for him. It
Exactly.
counts
So
against him.
for me, Emerson Palmieri, for me, I'll give him 4 for me.
Wow,
I'll give
you're
him
worse than me.
I'll give him 4 for me. Just because of his appearance, that's why I'll give him 4. For me, I'll give him 4. Not because he made an appearance. That's for me 4. So in the midfield, arguably for me, one of the our best player in the entire season has been N'Golo Kante for me. I have no doubt. Forget about being injured and everything. The goals we conceded this year, if there was Kante, fully fit Kante in that team, no, those goals will not be considered at all because no support in the defense. So you need a player who can support those teams for me. It's arguably one of our best players in this season. I'm gonna give Kante 8.5 for me.
A what?
8.5 for me.
Wow.
8.5. He's been our best player. Best player. Barely the
I
injury
thought
has.
I thought you gave it to Kovacic before.
No, I'm gonna give Kovacic a high rate. I haven't even rated Kovacic yet. Yeah, player of the
Okay.
season is Kovacic for me. But when you talk about in the entire whole Chelsea team and this season, is the Kante. If Kante is fully fit, Jorginho won't have a chance he's having now. He won't have that chance because we know how good Kante is. We know how good he is as a player. We know how good of a player he is. So for me, I'm gonna give Kante 8.5. So I'm coming to the player of the season, Matthew Kovacic. For me, no, no, I have no word, no complaint about him. He has just been good. It's been phenomenal for me ever since he plays. He put his hand out. Like a professional player needs to play. He played just like that. So I'll give Kovacic 9 for me. For me, 9 because he has
Wow.
been he's the player of the season for me. Player of the season, no doubt. People may say Mason Mount, but Matthew Kovacic has been the player of the season for me. He has been.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, Bill Gilmore is when the season started, Gilmore doesn't have that kind of chance. He having some chance a little bit, but when the FA Cup and everything started, he was having some chance. He was showing some glimpse of the player he is. So just because it's his first appearance and his first season in Chelsea, I'll give him 5 for me. 5 for me.
Who?
So Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley has shown some glimpse. I won't forget what they did in Champions League, though. I won't forget what they did in Champions League. When you have a penalty taker in Jorginho and you literally took him out of the team and then you want to play penalty and you missed it. You you have the audacity to play penalty and you missed. No, I won't take that from Barkley. I won't take that. So, but he has shown a lot in the FA Cup and also in the Premier League also, which he has scored. So I won't take him out. I won't take that out of him. So he has shown and he has scored. So I'll give Barkley 6 for me. 6 for me. So Mason Mount,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give Mason Mount for me. I'll give Mason Mount 8. 8 for me. I'll give him 8. I'll give Mason Mount 8 for me. So it's like his first season under Frank and everything. I'll give people doesn't rate him that high, but I'll give Mason Mount 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's shown a lot. I'll give him 8. And now I think do I miss any midfield? I don't think I miss any midfield. Do I miss anybody? Do I miss any misfeed? I think I've mentioned all the misfeed we have, right? Or do I miss anyone? So we go to the winger now. Can you hear me? Offside, are you there? Can you hear me? Offside, can you hear me? Hello? Offside, are you there? Offside, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, offside, are you there? Oh, offside, can you hear me? Yeah, can you
Hello.
hear me now?
Yes, I can hear
Oh,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Messi man an 8 for me. An 8. It's not been rated a lot. People are kind of busy because it's Lampard, it's Lampard. I'll give him an 8. Just because it's his first season and everything, I'll give him an 8. He has shown a lot this year. So yeah, we come to the do I miss any midfield at the moment or no? I think I mentioned all the midfield we have for this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go for the wing, Christian Pulisic first. For me, and he has shown a lot. Even before the pandemic, he's been showing glimpses of a player. He has been scoring a lot. So when the injury comes in, then it's from kind of deep down. He didn't show the kind of composure, the ability he has. But since he's back from the injury and the pandemic, he's been on fire. He has been on fire. So I'll give Pulisic 8.5. I'll give him 8.5. So from Pulisic, we go to the right wing in the Willian. Uh
Oh,
Willian,
I did not rate William. I didn't rate him.
I think you rated Willian. You give him, I think 7. You give him 7 or 6. I'm not sure.
Eh.
Yeah, you give him 7 though. 7 or 6. Wow. So for me, Willian, this even before the pandemic, he has not been showing the kind of William we know. Maybe because he's been playing on the right wing or not on the left wing. But for me, this season, I'll give William 6 for me. 6 for me. 6 for me. So we go to Pedro. No, it's done some good stuff and not some real good stuff. I'll give Pedro like 5 for me. So Tammy Abraham for me. 15 goals in his first competitive season. Wow, that's a huge season for him. 15 goals in his first competitive season and everything. So I'll be leaning a little bit about Tammy. I'll give Tammy 7 for me. I'll give Tammy 7 for me. So I'll go for Olivier Giroud. Olivier Giroud he has scored after the January transfer. He's been scoring week in and week out, and he has kind of helped us a lot. So whenever he starts, he scores. Whenever I start, he scores. He has been scoring a lot for me. So I'll give Olivier Giroud. I'll give him 8 for me. And also, there's also someone I haven't mentioned. I think is Fikayo Tomori. I'll give Tomori a 5. And also Willie Caballero. Since Caballero has started, we have looked more complete and more assured in the back. So I give Caballero a 6 for me. That's my player rate. And for the entire season as a Chelsea, I'll give Chelsea 8. So if he wins the FA Cup, I'll give us 9. Because first season of Frank Lampard, he makes the top one and he wins the FA Cup. That's a trophy. That's a silverware that can show being a manager. So I'll give him 9 if he wins the FA Cup. But now I'm giving 8. So that's my player rating. And for the season entirely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So the whole team, you give them an 8.
The whole team, yeah, 8 because no one believe we're
What if
gonna
they
make
win
top.
the FA Cup?
If they win the FA Cup, is 9 for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, because Napad has surpassed some other managers. Chelsea were not that patient enough to hire other manager and tell them you have to finish top and you have to do this. But for him to come in, not that kind of experience he has as a manager, but for him to come in and stamp his authority as a manager, first season Champions League football. That first season he also won the FA Cup. He has to be given some respect. I'm gonna give him 9 if he wins the FA Cup. I'm giving him 9 if he wins the FA Cup. And that 9 for me
So
entirely.
what would you have given the team if the team finished second, for example, and
If
won
we
the
finish
FA Cup?
second and wins the FA Cup and
What would
finish,
you have given?
I'll give us 9.5.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So if the team had now won the Premier League, what would you have given them? 10/10.
If the team wins the Premier League and also let's say we win I'll give us 10/10 because there are some lapses in this team that needs to
Uh,
be. Mhm.
the point is, if they had won the Premier League, what if you are giving them 9.5 for being second and winning FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
What would you not give them if they win the Premier League?
Ah, it's tough. It's tough. If they win the Premier League, it's tough. I won't give us them. I won't give us 9.5. I will also give us 9.5 because we've done
I
well.
hear you. You do well.
I also give us
Yeah.
9.5. 9.5 too. But for me, for me overall season, I'll give us 8 because we've done real well though. We've done real well. If wins the pick up will give us 9, I'll give them 9. But like the first season and also the Savior way, which shows yeah, no, I'll give us 9. Just for the silverware and everything. So it's been very good season after winning the FA Cup and everything because people doesn't rate us that much, and for us to come out with that kind of attitude and mentality of a team, then I think uh I need to rate us as a lot. So for me, so I
Okay.
think like,
So
you
can we
wanna,
talk about?
you wanted
Sorry.
to ask something? I think you
Yeah, I
wanted to
want to
say
say
something. Okay.
something. I mean, it's almost time. Our time is almost
Mm-hmm.
out. Just have like
Mm-hmm.
7 minutes. So I just let to say something. I don't know if
Okay.
you saw pictures of Timo Werner
Yeah,
officially reporting for GT.
I
Yes.
saw it.
I don't know how did it make you feel. So now we have Hakim Ziyech training with the side, and Timo Werner has now reported in London.
Yeah, it makes me
To
feel
start
good. It
with
makes
the
those
side.
players feel good also too. It makes those players feel good, and we have our new son in training with the team and everything, getting to know each other. It makes them feel good. Imagine having Kai Havertz also too in the coming week. It makes the team
Yeah,
look
but
competitive.
that's a different conversation. I'm basically talking about these two players, having them,
Exactly.
especially let me finish, having them in the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially having the opportunity to watch Chelsea play,
Mm-hmm.
even without them being part of the fully part of the squad. But them having to watch Chelsea play, because after the game, Lampard said something. He said, "Yeah, Timo Werner was there. He hopes Timo Werner saw the fight, the fight in the fighting spirit in the team and all that. Hope he
Mm-hmm.
saw that from the stand." So, like, do you feel there's any impact it will have on these two players? Watching the Chelsea side fight for this Champions League position. Do you
Yeah,
think it will have any impact on them, on the spirit of Chelsea and all that?
I think it will have a lot of impact for them, for the players, because if you look at the kind of player Timo Werner is a complete goal scorer. When he talks about goal scoring ability, for me. For Lewandowski to be the highest goal scorer in Bundesliga and for the second highest goal scorer Timo Werner, it speaks volume. Timo Werner just know it's not just a one season wonder. He's been scoring goals since the club started playing from Stuttgart to maybe I don't know the other club, but I know from ours, but like, he's been scoring goals a lot. So for him coming in and see the kind of way Chelsea play, it's gonna be very interesting for him to see wow, how do we work? How do we work as a team to score goals? Because there's goals in Timo Werner him. There's goals in him to score goals, including Hakim Ziyech too. Hakim Ziyech can pick up any pass from anywhere and boom, he knows where the pass is. So having Timo Werner watching from the stand and looking at where do we need to improve, how do we link up with the players, with Tammy, with Giroud, with me, with Christian, with this kind of players, it gave him huge motivation to be like, wow, now I can see where we can improve and how we can score goals. It's gonna be an exciting news for those players from like someone like Pulisic, Palamason, or those players looking up to Timo Werner and look at someone like Tammy also, who needs to learn. He needs to learn from Jiru and he also needs to learn from Timo also himself because he's a natural goal scorer in Timo Werner. So Tammy needs to learn from him to be a consistent goal scorer. He needs to learn a lot from Timo Werner. So that's an exciting news for the player also too. For me.
Interesting. On how it will be, how it may, how I feel it could affect the players. Watching them. Yeah, it's watching Chelsea play. A competitive game. It's
Mm-hmm.
easy to. It's a different perspective when they are watching as players, when they are participating as players. But for them to join Chelsea at this time when Chelsea is compete or was is because Chelsea is still competing,
Mm-hmm.
especially going into their still the FA Cup to fight for, and these are must-win games. Like final games. Talking about the game against Wolves
Arsenal.
earlier today,
What
the
okay,
go
what's
the
that?
game against Arsenal. The games that Chelsea played in the race. These few last games to compete for the top four. It was
Mm-hmm.
very, very fierce, very, very competitive. The game against Manchester City, remember. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that and even the FA Cup game against Manchester United, the fact that these players talking about Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech, can actually watch Chelsea. So they are watching Chelsea from the perspective of a fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they are watching from the stands and they are watching as fans, and they get to feel the pulse and understand what the Chelsea fan wants and expects,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's one side to it. On the other side, they get to see the fighting spirit that Chelsea Football Club has, Chelsea players. Even no matter the age, no matter where you're coming from, when you get onto the pitch, you are expected to give it your all. Yes, and that was what Lampard was talking about. Going into the
Mm-hmm.
FA Cup again, we understand that even when Chelsea is in transition, it is not negotiable that you are expected to win and win at all costs. So
Mm-hmm.
gradually, even before they've kicked the first ball for Chelsea, they are gradually, you know, understanding the Chelsea fighting spirit. Do you understand what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's not in
Mm-hmm.
question about their footballing ability. Their footballing ability is not in question. Everybody knows Timo Werner can score goals. Everybody knows Hakim Ziyech can play passes or ping passes or do this here and there. But now it's about the mentality. And for them
Mm-hmm.
to have the privilege of watching Chelsea from the stands, from the perspective of a fan, right? And watching the
Mm-hmm.
players give their all until the last day, the last minute of the game, to fight for these things, fight for a position, a good position, fight for a trophy in a
Mm-hmm.
season where normally nobody expected, many people didn't expect them to. It's a privilege, and it should help sort them out psychologically as to what Chelsea Football Club is all about.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's
You said it all. Hmm. Let me go to the Liverpool guys here. So if you want to rate let me say you want to rate Chelsea for the entire season, and what rating will you give Chelsea?
I think based on what's happened, when you put it into context, the transfer
that's
ban, the fact that they lost Hazard, who was probably like one of their best players for the past seasons. The fact that Kante hasn't really played a lot of. I mean, yeah, Kante hasn't really played a lot of. They've had to play a lot of games without Kante. Obviously, this is Frank's first season. There were a lot of people who had doubts about him. I think I would give. I think, and obviously, they're in an FA Cup final, which they could potentially win. They finished in the top four. I think this will probably be like an 8 out of 10, an 8 out of 10 season for Chelsea. I think I'll give them 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
If you win the FA Cup, what rating will you give him?
Okay. If I think if they win, then yeah, maybe 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 if they win the 9 out of 10 if they win the FA Cup. But for now I'd say like 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So like what after I just said now, what would be the players' psychological thinking when they saw Timo Werner and then Hakim Ziyech looking from the stand? What would be the psychological thinking like? How would they? What would
that's
it be their impression like? Mhm.
I wouldn't imagine that the presence of Ziyech and Pulisic and sorry, Timo Werner should have any major impact on the players that were playing, because the players at that point will be thinking about themselves, about their own futures, not
Mm-hmm.
about impressing. They are not impressing the players. They're not
I know.
there to impress Hakim Ziyech or Timo Werner. It's
Mm-hmm.
about performance and trying to ensure that they are there in the Champions League, and even that Chelsea make the Champions League, and that they themselves as individual players are part of the squad,
Yeah.
going into next season, because some of them, like players like Kepa, will have just played their last game. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Willian may have just played his last game. A couple of more
Played,
players may have just played
played
their last
who?
game as well for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't imagine seeing Timo Werner or Hakim Ziyech on the bench, in the stands, should have any impact on the professional player at that level.
Hmm.
That's what I think.
Wow. So Liverpool fans, what's your take on that?
I think like I think just seeing those guys adds to like the feel good factor that you'd say is around Chelsea at the moment. But then I also think that maybe there's a bit more of like a psychological part to it, because now guys like Tammy. Okay, I don't know where Zeke's gonna play. Like, yeah, basically, yeah, guys like Tammy, Pulisic. Though we're looking behind and seeing that, okay, this Chelsea have signed, really good players. So, and now I think now it's time for me to really pull up my socks and really, fight for my place in the team. And which is always a good
Yeah.
thing for any team, having competition like that. So yeah, like seeing those guys, I think seeing those guys would be good in terms of like competitiveness of like the individual players themselves. And also like the feel good factor, confidence, seeing like Chelsea, bringing guys like that, it will just boost the confidence of the team overall. So I think yeah, that's what I can. That's my take on. That's my take on that.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Been good though. Wow. Like I think, like Offside said, he already rated Chelsea 7. If you win the FA Cup is 8. I rated Chelsea 8 season, and if you win the FA Cup, I rated us 9 because people already got to know Chelsea, especially Frank himself as a manager. So it's a huge achievement for him and for the entire club also finishing the Champions League spot and also
Yeah, because
winning.
people forget like this is like only his second year in management. Like
Hmm.
like last season was basically like his debut season as a manager, if you can like call it that. But yeah,
Exactly.
like yeah.
So
You
for
always
me,
need you always need context to this.
exactly.
Yeah, no, 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 continue.
Mhm. Exactly. So, like, what I think I asked Offside before when you left, like, what do you think will win the Europa League between Wolverhampton Wanderers, Inter Milan, or Manchester United?
Oof. Wait, you said with Man United, Inter Milan.
And Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Oof. Oh, okay. I don't. I think it'll be very tough for. Okay, I don't know who's still in the Europa
United
League,
are
but
there.
I think
Wolverhampton Wanderers are there. Bayern Leverkusen are there. Inter Milan are there.
is Ajax still in the Europa
Ajax
League?
is out. They were
Oh,
beaten
Ajax
by.
is out.
Hmm.
Oof, okay. I think okay, okay. I don't. I think. Yeah. I think it's between those three. Who looks most likely to win? I think obviously. I think I'll say Inter, just because of like based on like the quality they have in their squad. I mean, Lautaro Martinez. I mean, Lukaku. I mean, you don't have to say more than that. I mean, like those guys are just they've been performing like but like, and I think yeah, those two, Man United and Wolves, they do have a good chance also, to win the Europa. I think it will just be dependent of like if they get lucky with draws and
Hmm.
so on. But yeah, I think like all three teams have an equally good chance of winning the Europa League.
Hmm. Wow. So you're giving you don't have a favorite at the moment, right?
Yeah, I don't have a favorite at the moment. I think
Wow.
I think I'll probably be only able to know probably once we reach the I think this is again they've already played the round of 16. I think
No, the second
once
leg of
I
the
think
round of we played. Second leg, just like after second leg, we go to sort of the quarterfinals.
oh, it's the quarterfinals now. Oh,
No,
okay.
the second leg, round of 16 first before the quarterfinals. The round of
Or
16.
for the quarterfinals. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, yeah, I think I think I'll probably have like a definite answer once we reach the quarterfinal stage. But yeah, I
Wow.
think like no, the football purist in me would want to see Wolves win it. Just because of like what it'll be such a fantastic achievement. Because these guys got promoted last season. They finished seventh last season. They
Mm-hmm.
finished seventh again this season, and for them to win, Europa would really be such a big achievement for them to win Europa, potentially get into Champions League. It'd be
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, so for part of me wants Wolves to win, just for the the just for the the underdog story,
Exactly.
underdog story. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah,
So
no, I don't know. Okay, no, obviously, I don't want Man United to win it. I don't want Man United to win it.
wow.
No, Man United can. I'm a Liverpool fan. Why would I want Man United to win it?
Yeah. A lot of people doesn't want United to even make the top four. Not people want United to make the top four, but I think now they've already made the top four now. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. So
And I think the fact that they've made top four might actually affect how far they go into. Because think about like if they didn't finish, like let's say they didn't win today, their psychology going into like their match in Europa were like, we need to win this competition in order to get Champions League football. I
Mhm.
mean, now they don't really have that pressure anymore. So I don't know. I think like their motivation for that competition might be different now since they've secured Champions League via their league position. So I think right now I think like Wolves' motivation to win their competition is a bit higher than Man United's, and I think that might affect. I think that might affect Man United.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
who has a better season between Chelsea and United? If Chelsea wins the FA Cup, who's gonna have a better season?
Well, I think Chelsea because they have, because they have Chelsea because I think they've been in the top four for I think for most of the I
Since
think for most
October,
of the
since
season.
October the 19th,
Yeah,
2019.
so they're pretty much for most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They they've beaten big teams. They beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. They beat Man City. Okay, I don't know which other big team they beat this season. And yeah, like obviously they lost their best player. They lost their best player in Hazard. They haven't, like I said, they haven't. Kante hasn't played. They've had to play a lot of games without Kante. Because Kante has been having injury problems
Mm-hmm.
and so on. And they've finished top four despite conceding so many goals, which is why, like I said, they need to sort out their back five this
Mm-hmm.
transfer window.
Exactly.
And
I think
no, yeah,
finish up. I think the board also
yeah,
are also working on it to make sure because the news I'm hearing is they want to complete the signing of Kai Havertz first, make it a completion. That they'll work towards the back four and the goalkeeping area. I think
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think I'm still gonna give Marcus Alonso a little bit of leeway for the coming season because he's done well this season. Now we have to see him improve. I think I'm still gonna give him a little bit of leeway to see how he's gonna improve. But in terms of the goalkeeping and the defender, we need to work on that. And I know the board are doing that. The board are doing that. I know they're working towards that because they just want to finish up the completion of the what's called the completion of the Kayaba deal and also move on to the next agenda.
If you guys get Havertz, oh my, I'm already thinking about that attack. Werner, Ziyech, Kai Havertz. Oof, oof, that attack is going to be saucy. If you guys get Havertz,
Mm-hmm.
oof, oof, finish. And yeah, actually, I feel like okay, I feel like and I also feel like this season,
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea played a bit like the way we used to play,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of seasons ago. Heavy metal football, outscoring teams, but like being really, 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 really crap at the back. So
Exactly.
yeah, I feel like if Chelsea fix if first Chelsea fix their issues at the back, then they could really be a force to contend with next
Mm.
season.
Wow. Wow. So I forgot. I should have asked offside this one, but I think she left. I've forgotten to ask her. This defender, Jose Jimenez from Atletico de Madrid. What's your take on that?
Who? Oh, Jimenez.
Jose Jimenez from
Uh,
Atletico de Madrid. Because I'm
okay.
hearing a lot of news about him a lot. I should have asked offside, but I forgot to ask her.
Problem is I don't really watch I don't really watch the Liga that much. I'm a Premier League merchant, unfortunately. So yeah, I can't really answer. I can't really give my thoughts on that one.
Mm. Because there's been news about Jose Jimenez coming in and everything to help the defense and everything, but I haven't watched much
I've
about
I've
him.
also I've also heard this guy's name be Skriniar. I've also heard his name being thrown around.
Exactly. So between these two, I'm not really sure the one I want to go for at the moment. I'm not sure at the moment the one I want to go for. I don't know yet because we need to see which player is better between both of them for us to spend that kind of money on the defender.
Mm.
But what I can guarantee is a lot of players are gonna go. I'm very sure about that. That will go. They are coming in. But the player coming in is what I don't know. The defender coming in, that's what I don't know at the moment. But we'll have to wait and see which player goes and which one comes in at the moment. So I think that should be it for today's stream. The next one's gonna be on the FA Cup final between Arsenal and Chelsea. I can't just wait for that. The FA Cup final, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the final.
Please beat Arsenal. Please beat Arsenal.
I'm
These
so
guys
excited.
had the audacity to beat Man City and Liverpool in the same week and then lose to Aston Villa. I mean,
Yeah,
what is that?
for
Please
me,
beat those
if we
guys.
beat
Beat
Arsenal,
those guys.
it's gonna be a very, very wonderful season. I already rated Chelsea already. If we beat Arsenal, for me, I'm gonna give us 9. I already said it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
give
see, yeah, if you guys beat Arsenal, then like
it
instead of Chelsea's season being good, instead of it being a good season, it'll be a great season.
a good season.
Great
And
season.
Lampard first season as a manager winning the trophy. No, no, no. No, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
great
first season in the Premier League with the trophy.
winning the
That's
trophy. For me,
yeah,
it's
that's
gonna
not
be
a
a
bad
great
return.
season. I know United qualified because of the goal difference finishing third. For me, it's still not it has not even been a good season for United also because if you remember, Ole has already has a lot of experience ahead of Lampard, and Lampard came in and won a trophy. It says something. It
Yeah.
says something.
hmm
It says something.
Yeah,
So
actually,
for
it
me,
does say something. The fact that Lampard got to a final in his first season
in his first consecutive season, that should be said already. And for me,
without even spending any money. You see
and
that?
even the player we bought are gonna start next season. None of them starting this season. None of them is gonna start next season. So you have to give him respect. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spend money on Daniel James, Bruno Fernandes, or Johnny Gallo. Look at this player he bought. Aaron Bissaka. He bought players in which all those players played this year. Maguire.
Maguire,
See, look at how much he spent.
80 million.
Look at it. But Lampard didn't
Oh
spend
my
any money.
god.
He did not spend any money. He needs to be rated a lot.
Yeah,
He didn't spend any money. So
yeah,
credit to Chelsea and credit to him also. Because after the full match, he didn't celebrate that much because he said Chelsea needs to be doing better than top four. He said it. Chelsea is not a top
yeah,
four team.
yeah. So I also saw that post match
He said
interview.
Chelsea
He
are
was
not a
like, yeah,
top four
Chelsea.
team. It's not a top four team. He needs to be doing better than being a top four. We are a challenging team and we need to be winning trophies. And that's why we are buying these kind of players to win us trophies, to challenge. If you're celebrating the top four, that's a failure for me. That's a failure, automatic failure. But just because the kind of way the season has pans out and everything, I'll just let it slide. I'm like, okay, I understand it's the first season.
Yeah,
Come
this
next
season's a
season,
free hit basically.
next season, no excuse. No excuse. No, 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 no excuse. I want to see us dismantle team 5-0, 6-0 with the player we have at the moment. Timo Werner, Kai Havertz coming in potentially, Akim Ziyech. I want to see us beat him 6-0, 5-0. Yes. Why? Because we have the potential of a player who can score goals. Timo Werner can score 4 goals or 3 goals in one matches. Very possible because he has that goal ability in him. But imagine struggling it is a mid-block team scoring 1-0, scoring 2-0. Ah, no, 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 no. We have to be ruthless in front of goals. That has been our problem. We may dominate possession,
Yeah,
we may create chances, but we have to be very clinical in front of goals. If you're not clinical enough in front of goals, for me, it's not good. That was why we brought Timo Werner in to be clinical because he knows how to score goals.
yeah.
And
True,
sometimes
true, 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 true.
decision making also is cool because there are some distance our decision making has been poor from Mason Mount to other players. Like today too, there was a chance in which Mason Mount should have given Tammy Abraham should have scored. He put a shot also. The same thing also Tammy Abraham too should have given Pedro a free hit and he scored also. That could be like 4-0, 5-0. A shoot also too. Those decision making sometimes we need to be accurate about it. Imagine having a player of Kai Havertz who can decide football within a minute. Someone like Akim Ziyech also who can pinpoint passes from anywhere. He knows where the player is. Those are the kind of player you need in your team. Those are the differences you need that will make a team look better for the upcoming season. So for the FA Cup, guys, we're gonna see you in the FA Cup final on the Saturday. It's gonna be very tough against Arsenal, but I'm very confident we'll go out there and win. We just want to win the cup and make it a wonderful season for us as a whole. Now we have already secured our first agenda is making it to the Champions League, which is good. Now the second agenda is win the FA Cup and make it a memorable season for us. So guys, I see you guys on Saturday for the FA Cup final, guys. And also, for the reminder, I'm gonna be doing a preview. Like for the preview, is gonna be the entire season. We're gonna reach Chelsea entire season. I'm thinking of bringing in a lot of fans, like some Liverpool fans and some other guys. Also, we're gonna preview each like Chelsea season, Man United season, and everything. We do a preview about it and we talk about the overall season. So, guys, see you guys on Saturday for the FA Cup final, and we're out. Wrap up, guys. Peace out, guys. Pick up, brother. See you on Saturday, brother. See you. Peace, peace.
See you on Sunday. See you on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, brother.